Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk thing show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find himself to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous one, and tonight we're going to have a barn burner love. We're going to do the Boule Bleachout 2020. We're going to, all these groups, all these ideology that is affecting the Indigenous community here in America, preventing us from looking at ourselves and comparing ourselves with the land and finding out what we have to do to sustain ourselves on this planet, is being infected by all these ideologies. And it's really some satanic shit. So tonight we're going to show that to you. You have any questions, the chat room is open, hit it. You can ask whatever you want, but all this stuff that you're about to hear tonight, this is what's messing with the community. This is what's got us confused. This is what has us at each other's throat. Joining me tonight is going to be Edwin Nathaniel, Bad Brother. He's going to come with some information on how not just this affects the so-called African American, but these politicians and all these, the way these politicians work, how that wreaks havoc on the African American community. We're going to be joined by Phoenix Moon. You guys know Phoenix Moon. She's going to lay it down as always. We're going to have Tony Tomahawk here. Tony Tomahawk is going to kind of lead this along with Rick Moon and of course myself. So you're going to be in for a real, get your notepads out because you're going to have to know this. And one of the reasons we do this, and the only reason I do this, is because we cannot have the youth behind us in the same dumb shit that we find ourselves in. We can't have our youth making the same mistakes that we made in our year. We can't have our youth keeping marching and yazza bossing and all that coon shit that we do. We cannot do that. Because if we do that, we'll be out of here in no time. And the stuff that you hear tonight, you're going to be familiar with it. Many of you actually participated in it. So you're going to know what we're saying is no bullshit. So got some little ends to tighten up first. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Tomahawk Tony so he can give you an introduction on it, because this was partially his idea. Tomahawk.
Yeah, what's up? How you doing? Yeah. How's everyone? Yo, I'm not one
cool, man. No, man, we cool.
All right, that's what's up. Yeah, a Buck. Also, we need that audio file too. You know what I'm saying? But how's everyone doing? Basically, you know, we've all seen it. We've all seen the things that's been happening, generation after generation. Things in which have affected our American people. For me, this is what it's about. It's about our American people and what we need to do so that we can make better choices, better decisions in regards to securing ourselves. You know what I mean? Awareness is preparedness. And like they said, if you knew better, you do better. What we present in the night, this is about knowing better. We got to know what has affected our people, what has prevented, you know, certain strides of progress and certain, you know, movements, quote unquote, and things of that nature. And currently, you know, this year, 2018, we've had a whole bunch of these Boule Masonic, quote unquote, black individuals or organizations that have pretty much sought to infiltrate the quote unquote indigenous community. For us, it's really about our heritage. It's about our ancestry. It's about our existence, securing our rights, securing our people, securing our land, etc. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of treasonous behavior going on. And so I'm ready to get into this text, but I really would like Buck to go ahead and play that audio. Basically, it's an audio of Malcolm X, Martin King, and then it goes back to Malcolm X, where they are speaking from that period, the 1960s, because a lot of things that happened in the 1960s has affected and impacted what's taking place as we approach 2020. Hey, let us know when you got that audio ready, but I'm going to go ahead and begin with this page from this particular book. The title of the book is Luciferianism or Satanism, in English, Masonry. All right. This is from page 5 of the text. Okay. This how it begins. This is the second paragraph in this text, right? It says, now let us note some different species of Luciferianisms. The first is to admit and worship the real Lucifer, or his Luciferian fallen angels, devils, or Satans, or demons, known and worshipped as such. The second is through ignorance or by mistake, the belief in and worship of evil spirits as evil, without a conscious knowledge of the fallen angels or devils, such as the red-skinned Indians have it and practice it. Okay? That's
Tom Hawk. Let me say something real quick. I want to make sure we're on the same page, because I want to show that page that you're speaking from. So what page is it? Because I just copied them down backwards, like we said, the way you sent them to me. That's right. So it's the first page. It's a white color page. The page itself is white with black text, and at the top of the page it reads it has a number 5 at the very top of it. Okay, chapter 5. It just says number 5, not chapter 5. It just says number 5, indicating the page number. Go ahead, man. I'll get to it. All right. So that quote right there is very important. So let me go ahead and repeat that real quick. All right, because this is what affects our American people here. The second is through ignorance or by mistake. Ignorance or by mistake, the belief and worship of evil spirits as evil, without a conscious knowledge of the fallen angels or devils, such as the red-skinned Indians. The red-skinned Indians is our American people. We have what is known as the Indian red crayon, a Crayola crayon. All right, Indian red, which is a brown color. Okay, so people run around talking about the red Indian, and they're referencing the Mongoloids. Those Mongoloids are pale skin. Let's be real clear about all of that. And they are also part of this Masonic Boule agenda against our American people. So let's be very clear about all of this. All right. Next is a third. Is the fancy and worship any god, demiurge, or fetish, or in place of the fourth would be to worship any pan or insaf or chaos or anything of that kind and their emanations in the place of the true God. A fifth is to enthrone in the place of the true God the elements and forces of the universe supposed to have eternity, and to worship them as the great architect, great geometrian, great artist, great artificer. Now, for me, I don't deal with all this God. There's a reference to Germans. All right, y'all can go ahead and go to Etymon. Y'all can look at any dictionary where God comes from. This terminology. Our American people, we have our own entities, if you will, our own creator, things of that nature. From nation to nation, we have our own languages, and this is really what we got to be dealing with. All right. Would anybody like to comment on this as well? Phoenix, Edwin, Nathaniel, was good. But
definitely, we have been saturated, with all of these elements, particularly the religion. I've checked some of the notes that you sent me regarding the how do you say it, Luciferianism? I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And all of these foreign influences have been a wedge in between our posterity completely. A lot of people, as you indicated, a lot of people have participated in this particular arm of oppression, knowingly and unknowingly. Some people have no idea what part of these situations they put themselves in, or do they also, not everybody understands the magnitude of the repercussions behind whatever actions, or even, any company you keep with any of these types of organizations that deal with this foreign shit.
Yo, I agree. Yeah, it's a lot of people that have got caught up in the propaganda, pretty much just psychological operations, to say the least. I mean, we see what it is when these people go to church. I mean, if these people was thinking clearly, and if they were seeing clearly and knowing exactly what's being said, what actions is being done, and observing these practices, they would know that these are incorrect behaviors and that they're suffering as a result of all of this. You know, so the ignorance is a major aspect of this, the not knowing and doing these things by mistake. But at the same time, we have people, as you just said, that are willful participants in this. They swore oaths and all of that. And we got to pay attention to the symbologies of these different individuals, whether you see them on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, or you see them anywhere else. We have to pay attention to how they speak and how they present their body language, because these are all aspects of communication. You know, there was a video that just came out, I want to say this week, right? Or this past week. It's some dude, Indigenous something, right? And he's talking against the dude, Sarasut and Seti. Now, I don't care nothing about those Pan-Africans, those pro-blacks and this, that, and the other. They doing what they supposed to do to stay black. They want to be black, they can stay black, no problem. But don't fuck with our American people. That's how I'm on it. So anyway, you got this quote-unquote Indigenous dude with a channel, right? And dude, as soon as he says that he hasn't sworn no oaths, he put his right thumb on the right side of his chin. Now, we have to know what that means. You see what I'm saying? We have to know what these sign languages mean. Y'all can go ahead and pull up the video, and then y'all can go in his chat box and ask him, why did he do that? At the same time, he said he hasn't sworn no oath, but he puts his right thumb on his chin like that. This is not a game, y'all.
Right.
This is not a game. And these people are really trying to play with us. So we got to stay on point, and we got to be aware, and we have to encourage awareness amongst each other. Yo, we got Rick Moon on the line. What's good, Rick Moon? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. Sorry about that, y'all. I was having a little trouble getting in, but I finally got in.
That's what's up. Well, yo, you the creator of the Boule Bleachout. So I want to ask you this, right? What made you come up with Boule Bleachout? Just so the people can know.
Oh, well, back in I think we started the show in 2012, and maybe like a couple of months later, you know, I was, you know, just thinking, you know, how I could, you know, come up with something that might be catchy, you know, that people might like, you know, and so I was watching one of Steve Copley old tapes. You know, as a matter of fact, I had the pleasure to see him also when I was living in Los Angeles. And, you know, I was watching his tape, and you know, he was like the first one I heard talk about the Boule. So, we can, so when I, you know, was thinking of it, and then I came up with the Boule part, and the Bleachout part came from, that's one of the, when you read the etymology of the word black, that's one of the meanings of it. So I just put it together, you know, just came up with the Boule Bleachout, and I wanted to, I also created, because I wanted to put some people on blast, and I wanted to get to the point to where we could just start naming names instead of just, you know, just talking. You know, we weren't doing too much of that back then. So I decided, you know, to kind of step it up, and, you know, and it's good, you know, that we brought it back here tonight, and so we can talk about it some more and maybe come up with new stuff, new materials. Good to have everybody here also tonight.
Yeah, much appreciation to you, man. Yeah, I appreciate you know, your service and all of that. You know what I mean? This Boule Bleachout situation and putting people on blast. Yeah, you know, awareness is very important. You know what I mean? So yo, I'm ready to continue with it. Did you want to add anything else? Because I definitely want to say much appreciation to Steve Copley. You know what I'm saying? That was a legendary dude for his service as well. So furthering his work right here, that's what it's about. Steve Coakley was a legend for his service as well. So much appreciation to you, Rick Boone, for keeping that alive, you know?
Hey, thanks, man. No problem. Yeah, and we need to turn it up, man. That's what I'm saying. So I wanted to ask you a question, Tomahawk.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you to expound on the Bleachout 2020.
All right, so basically, right, this year, we had a series of people, much appreciation to Two Hawks and Fauna for putting together I think it was like a convention or a conference on the 2020 census so that people can gain awareness about how to properly fill out the census that's coming up in 2020. So that's one part of it. Phoenix Moon and a few others, they participated in putting together information so that people can become aware of the importance of the 2020 census and things of that nature. In addition to that 2020 factor, this is also about having 2020 vision. We got to know what we're seeing out here. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have 2020 vision. We gotta be able to see each other and be able to see these weirdos, these cowards, these sniggers. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be able to see them clearly. We gotta be able to see them immediately so we can know what we're dealing with and know how we're going to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? This is for us. You know what I mean? People want to be black. People want to be Moors. You want to be Hebrews. You want to be a Mason. You want to be all these different things. Do that shit over there, man. Y'all been had what y'all been had, and y'all ain't did nothing but fuck with our people. This is why I say cowboy season is over. Too many of our people's out here suffering, and we have to have 2020 vision so we can clearly see how to correct everything that's incorrect. So, yeah, that's what the 2020 is about for this Bleachout situation, because we definitely got to clearly see who these bleach, Boule, black, you know what I mean? These people that's colorblind lying to themselves. We clearly got to be able to see these people, man. All of them, from social media to outside in public to all these celebrity / contract whore motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Part of me, I get excited, you know.
I get it. I agree.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, I guess are you guys ready to, to get into this? Talk about what we want to bleach out and who and how.
I'm ready. Shit. Hey. I wanna run that audio. It's a 5-minute audio. You know what I'm saying? And we really have to pay attention to what has been said in the past, because the same things that was being said and done in the past has affected our present, which is affecting our future. You know what I'm saying? So I wanna hey Buck, you got that audio file ready? And also Edwin Nathaniel Phoenix, if y'all want to jump in anytime, go for it.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd like to start out with something here. The organizations that you refer to, they have one function, and that is to divide people. We play both sides of the issue. They play both sides. And because of that, that's the reason why people cannot stay on the same page and, live out their existence the way life is meant to be lived. And when you're being tampered with, when your parameters are being messed with, you cannot develop properly. We entertain these hierarchies on the planet to no avail. Throughout world history, none of this stuff has ever helped the collective body of peoples on the planet. But I would like to read something, a post I did while in African Americans Ain't African at A4, just to denote what I'm really trying to convey, if you will. This post is titled "The Idiocy of Organized Religion and the Pyramid Schemes Created by Them." First and foremost, Christianity will be used to convey this message to show what I mean. Think about the following doctrines as you read on. 1, God's chosen one. 2, God's chosen people. 3, the divine right of kings. In Christianity, we have an alleged bloody savior, bleeding on the cross, with the doctrine used to promote the notion that one can be held responsible for the acts of another as if guilty of doing the act. As you will soon see, the doctrine of blaming another for the acts of others will diminish as we go up the hierarchical status arrangements entertained on this planet, all the way up to zero responsibility. The question does remain, what would a supposed supreme being or God need with these hierarchical arrangements, also known as pyramid schemes, to begin with? If you will notice, the pyramid illustration, which I had in A4 in the post, has the dollar signs, do give a factual picture of what's going on here. And matter of fact, all of the money or wealth is in the hands of the few between all of them, near the top of this arrangement. Anyone looking at this who is not delusional can easily see something is wrong. As you can see, the level of responsibility are also less and less as you look further up. But yet, using the religious doctrine, the responsibility or blame for the actions of others are charged to those who are further and further to the bottom. Are enough of you seeing this? The practice of blaming or placing all the burden on the many while the few ride you is really where I'm getting at. I have emphatically stated in the past of the irresponsibility of continuing this is not only idiotic, but dangerous in the kind of world we are in, where the practice of placing one man or woman over the other under some presumed or assumed idea that one is trusted over the other based on the very doctrines aforementioned. As it sits right now, this very notion has always repeated itself over and over again to the level where these types do not want to abide by the laws that are common to every man or woman as it is already. The pyramid arrangements ensures that it will be so, as they make false laws or assigning others to do on behalf of them to make the known laws of no effect. Based on delusions, criminal activities are condoned by these practices. The list of crimes are long indeed, and many do not take time to think what role they play in not only believing such idiotic concepts, but keeping all of it going by not becoming self-responsible. Self-responsibility leaves no room for these practices, and it becomes obvious to me if everyone contributed on exactly where this society should go, the practice of harboring the lazy, the greedy, control freaks of our world would be halted. That's the crime that is apparent. So, based on what I drew up there, the point that I'm making is our people are the original people of this landmass, what we call the Americas, North, Central, and South America. And what has happened is that we have been intruded upon, and as a result of that, there have been sides taken, sellouts here and there. Those organizations do represent that, whether the lower members realize it or not. As you go up in the ladder scheme of those organizations, that becomes more and more apparent. And it's very unfortunate because what we do here in our society of harboring these elements and keeping the pyramid schemes on the planet going, I would like to see them go. I would like to see a peaceful society at some time, if not in my lifetime, for the people that are coming in, the children that are entering this world. What are we leaving for them? What kind of legacy or what kind of world are we leaving for them? That's very important. And see, it's not enough to just claim ancestry from wherever it is that your ancestry lies. It's not good enough. Spiritual principles have to be adhered to. And the practicing of these various religious rituals, as expressed in some of these organizations, does not uphold those principles. To practice your form of religion without being responsible, self-responsible, and holding to the spiritual principles, you will violate, if not one, all of them. So it's very disrespectful to your fellow man or woman to even harbor these hierarchies in the fact going on for so long, and to repeat it is, in my humble opinion, is it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, well, hey, well, that's what we're here for tonight. We're gonna start, but we're gonna add to that. We're gonna put them on blast, and that's what this show is all about. Also,
Mhm.
thing that the show is about is we're also gonna put a lot of tie a lot of stuff in, a lot of different groups in with what is going on, and so we'll be able to tie these particular criminals to their practice. And that's one of the things that we hope to accomplish tonight. Thanks for that, Edwin. Tonio, are you ready with your little presentation?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely ready. Trying to see if Buck is able to run that audio. Because this will definitely set a base for this. He's trying to get the audio together. But go ahead and continue with some of this text, which ties in directly to what Edwin Nathaniel was just sharing with us. Give me one moment while I locate it. Because basically, as Edwin was just saying, these societies, they have no regard. A lot of these organizations and the individuals within them, they have absolutely no regard for our people. None whatsoever. Here's the quote right here. This is from page 59 of the text, Luciferianism and Satanism and English Masonry, right? It says, the Masonic Society has been silently growing among us, whose principles and operations are calculated to subvert and destroy the great and important principles of the Commonwealth. Before and during the revolutionary struggle, Masonry was but little known and practiced in this country. It was lost amid the changes and confusion of the conflicting nations and was reserved for a time of profound peace to win and insinuate itself into every department of government and influence the result of almost every proceeding. Like many other attempts to overturn government and destroy the liberties of the people, it has chosen a time when the suspicions of men were a ceaseless thread. And the darkness and silence of the night has increased its strength and extended its power. Not yet content with its original powers and influence, it has of late received the aid of foreign and more arbitrary systems. With this accumulation of strength, it arrived at that formidable crisis when it bid open defiance to the laws of our own country in the Republic. Give me one moment, I'm losing the text. Wow, pardon me. It arrived at that formidable crisis when it bid open defiance to the laws of our country in the abduction and murder of an unoffending citizen of the Republic. So wicked was this transaction, so extensive its preparation, and so openly justified that it aroused the energies of an insulted people whose exertions have opened to hidden recesses of this abode of darkness and mystery. And mankind may now view its power, its wickedness, and folly. That is opposed to the genius and design of this government, the spirits and precepts of our holy religion, and the welfare of society generally will appear from the following considerations. So basically, Masonry, Freemasonry, these foreign religious systems, whatever, these foreign constructs have corrupted not only foreign regions of the world, but they have brought that shit here to America, where they have been furthering and strengthening their corruption. We see all of this shit throughout social media every day, where it has been normalized. Perversions have been normalized. We all know this to be true. Slander, defamation of character, murder, robbery. We have so many, I mean, yo, the way children are treated. The treatment of our youth. This shit is fucking crazy. Yo, we just had this incident, whether it was true or false, right? Whether it was staged or not staged, we had this incident where you have a high school student, quote unquote black student, who gets his dreads cut off. He gets his hair cut off in the middle of some kind of event. That's corruption. And we see this over and over and over again. And who is responsible for enabling this corruption? In my opinion, it's we the people. We're responsible. Why are we responsible? Because we see what's going on. And we ain't doing nothing about it. We're not doing anything about it. We just let it happen. Exactly.
That incident where they cut the little boy's hair, that was encroachment. When you intrude on a person's territory or thing considered to be a right. His hair, his person, it should be secure. There's no way that they were supposed to be able to get away with that. I'm sure there weren't any bylaws or anything in the fine print in their student code of conduct or any policies of the school district that said anything about them as far as sports and how long or how short their hair should have been. And certainly not the style of it, but because, and I was personally offended by that because they had a Caucasian woman just basically take to his head with scissors. Okay, so yeah, you talk about Boule, the school system, everyone involved in those sports teams, particularly the sports teams, they all come from out of those. Usually a lot of those coaches are a part of secret societies. And sometimes that often includes pedophilia and all sorts of other things. So that particular incident spoke volumes, and it really made me sick to my stomach. And just the fact that Black people can still sit there and stomach those types of things and not do anything about it is deplorable. That I didn't even know what was worse, the people that allowed it to happen or the actual oppressor. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's hard to tell who's guilty in those.
No, well, you're absolutely right. It's us guilty, but this is the problem, and this is what we don't get. This is what happens when you're a slave. Because see, his ass shouldn't have been in there wrestling if that was the rules. And this is what we don't do. We want to play their game, and you know they can't stand your ass. This is what gets me. Then we cry when they fuck us over. That's on us. That's what we're constantly used for sports entertainment, music entertainer, shucking and jiving. Then when they dog us out, we want to cry. Have your own shit. I mean, damn. I mean, we look dumb. And you see, and you can tell by the body language of the young man that he fucked up. Nobody wants to talk about that. Look at his body language when it's over. He know that that's one of the first rules. If you got locks, motherfucker, don't let nobody touch your hair. Don't let nobody cut your shit.
That's right.
Damn. That means you got conquered.
That was one more time, Rick Moon.
When you let your get your hair cut like that, that means that you've been conquered, and that's exactly what happened. They conquered that young man.
And like Phoenix Moon said, we just stood by and watched and did the shit that we always do: complain, march. I don't want Madeline to do that to me. That's on us. Why? How come you don't have a school where you have your own wrestling programs?
That's right. That's right.
Why don't you? Huh? And this is where we're constantly stuck, because these are what these Boule cats do. They put us in positions. They make us think that, oh, we're Hebrews. Oh, we're Christians. Oh, we're Muslims. Oh, we're this. That wasn't what was here when they came here. There was no Muslims here. There was no Hebrews here. So this is what I'm saying, y'all. Where are we going?
That's right, and it's also time for us to put out to who it is that's trying to stop us from doing this. It's time to let some people know some stuff, because we're not going to be able to do that with all these other people trying to stop us. And although they're doing a pretty good job of stopping themselves, because as you know, all of this stuff, all this Afrocentricity, religion, Hebrew Israelites, Nation of Islam, Moorish Science Temple, all this crap, we know all that's playing out. All that's playing out. And what we are here to do is to help y'all play out. Because right now, another meaning of Boule, which I kind of made up myself, is anyone who is against the proper nature, who's against nature, which is absolute truth, and would do anything to try to hold the rest of the people back, like a lot of these entertainers and all these scholars and all these kind of people. These are the type of people that we're going to have to go. And there's a little old saying that in order to straighten everything out, you got to clean your house first. And that's what the Boule Bleachout is about. And that's what we're here to do. And I just want to say thank you for all of you guys coming here with me and being my back, you know. And so are we going to be able to see that, listen to that 5-minute video? But
yeah, I just sent the audio file over to Phoenix real quick, so that we can see if we can get the run.
Okay. Before you do this,
Yes, give me one moment.
Okay, while she's doing that, let me go ahead and run through this little piece that I want to do on these groups, because I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet after that, because there's too much noise around here, and I don't want to mess up the program. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead. Let me just go ahead and share what I want with the audience. And for the audience, this is what I'm saying. You know, a lot of people think we're kind of mean and African American. It's not that, but goddamn, y'all, it's simple shit that you do that you don't let happen. You don't let happen to you. A sister's not gonna let a brother come and move in her house and he just gonna lay up. He gonna have to do something. If not, he's gonna be kicked out. It's simple. And these are the things, these ideologies and these beliefs that we have, we don't even look at them. So I want to share with you some of these groups that we get this stuff from, and seeing what they've done to us. And just go along with me, because and let me commentate as I go through, because this is the kind of shit you should be seeing. So the first one is the Nation of Islam. First of all, let me share a story with you. What happened to me when I was growing up. This is going to crack you up. As in most groups of where Negroes live, I grew up in Los Angeles. My family came from the South, so you know we were really in foreign territory. But most of my neighbors, they came from the South. So just to give you a setup on my street, everybody knows how a block is. In Los Angeles, you have about 15 houses on one side, 15 houses on the other. So we were the Southern Baptists. We were the Southern Baptist people. The people directly across from us were Islam. They were Nation of Islam. The people next door to me, to the left, they were Jim Jones, the People's Temple. And the people that lived behind them was another brother. Now, this is what I mean, how all these foreign ideologies, how they fuck us up. The people, so everybody knows what happened to the Jonestown people. This sister took her 5 kids down to South America and they were killed. They were killed. And her sons were my age. These people, the husband, he didn't make it. He didn't go down there because he got arrested when they were going down at night. And he came and told me, I said, man, where's Orlando and James? He said, which I thought I heard, he said they went to a place called Guyana. I was like, okay, cool, boom, 2 weeks later, 1,000 people dead. So I saw him a few years later and I asked him, I'm like, so I wanted to talk. I wanted to, talk to him about it. He was a wreck, drunk, whatever drug was out at that time. He was definitely on. And he said, the statement he made, he said, man, they didn't drink no Kool-Aid. They were shot. This was following some monkey named Jim Jones. And I don't know how they got wrapped up in that. Now, I know a lot of people, well, you don't know what our people, we just don't know. That shit is dead, y'all. We can't keep falling for the banana in the tail type trick, in the tailpipe trick. The people that lived behind him was Doc's younger brother. He was a Muslim. He strangled his son in the bathtub because he didn't like something his son did. He killed his son. Eric was 6. 6.
Yeah.
So it was all kind of stuff like that was happening in LA where I grew up. And all of it was because we were following these ideologies that did make no sense to us and were there to destroy us. And it's still going on today. And you still have these cats pumping that shit. And we, the community, we cool with it. We'll support these organizations. We have made them millions. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna just go through some of these organizations to let you see what are we doing. We do the stupidest shit, then we want to cry and march and all that other bullshit, and it's killing us. So here's the first one I want to talk about is the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam is an African-American political religious movement founded in Detroit, Michigan by Wallace D. Fard Muhammad. There's a video that you can find with Muhammad Ali's ex-wife. She tells you Wallace Fard Muhammad is Pakistani. How is a Pakistani able to, we'll get to that when we get into Marcus Garvey, how are all these foreigners able to come over here and trick your ass out of everything you have? Wallace D. Fard Muhammad was a Pakistani on July 4th, 1930. So I'm not into numerology. Maybe some of the other people on the panel can look at it. But check out these dates, 1930. They've been in existence 90 years. How has the Nation of Islam benefited the African-American, the so-called African-American community? They haven't. Now, many of you know about the Nation of Islam, the Malcolm X thing. That's what Phoenix is going to play in a minute. So these are the groups that we get into when we realize that Christianity shit don't work. We get into other groups because we're trying to find ourselves, but we definitely ain't trying to find our grandmothers. We're definitely not trying to find our great-great-grandmothers. We definitely not trying to connect ourselves with the land. We get into all these bullshit organizations that hasn't done nothing. This organization's been going since 1930. What have they done? I mean, they're based in Chicago. How's it going in Chicago? We got to pump this shit together. We got to pull this together. These brothers, they quick to kill a brother, but they never jump up to boss. They smile and laugh, but they want to kick your ass in a minute. Why? And why do we support that dumb shit? So its stated goals. So this is what I really want to get. Its stated goals are to improve the spiritual, mental, social, and economic conditions of African Americans in the United States and all of humanity. Since 1930, they had 90 years. Have they done that? No. What do we say? I'm gonna go get me a bean pie, brother. That's what we do. And when somebody like me, Tomahawk Tony, or Rick Moon brings it up, you pissed off at us. This is what happened. So one of the things when you're reading, because we're going to go through a couple of these, one of the things when you're reading, I want you to understand how stuff is written. It's always written in some dumb shit. After Farr disappeared in June 1934, disappeared, where'd he go? What did he do? Who was he? It's always some you always confused. You're following something that's always not really there. We really don't know. So this is the Nation of Islam. This is the cat named Wallace Farr Muhammad. Now, about 20 years ago, because like I'm saying, it doesn't take a long time. If I'm on something wrong and somebody come up and say, yo, brother, you totally wrong about that, I change. I don't be holding on to shit just because it sound good. So me and Rick Moon, we went to some group. I don't know if you remember Rick Moon. And Rick Moon was telling me, he said, man, that's a white boy right there. And I was like, no, it wasn't. That's a brother. He was like, no, dude, it's a white boy. About 20 years ago. And come to find out that it was a Pakistani. But I didn't stay stuck thinking that this dude was a brother, black man that came to save the black people. This is who these people follow. They don't follow like what Phoenix say, grandmama. What was your grandmama doing? What was your grandmother's culture? What was your grandmother? What was your grandfather's industry? And why aren't you doing it now? Because this is what you do. You take on the ideologies and beliefs of these people. So check this cat out. Very cool story. There's a story, like I said, Muhammad Ali's wife talks about him. This is what, so I told you guys about Jim Jones. This is Jim Jones right here. Why is the Nation of Islam providing him security, but he kills your ass? Anybody, answer that question for me and you receive a free ebook, African American Ain't African. Why is the Nation of Islam protecting this dude, but they quick to kill you? This is what these foreign ideologies do to us. This is what they do to us. They make us look dumb. And you want to get mad because somebody calling you dumb. Nah, this is what we do. What was your religious ideologies? What was your spiritual ideologies that your people had before everybody came over here? Somebody tell you that you want to scratch their eyeballs out. This is where we are. This is why when Tomahawk Tony say, man, we ain't got no time for no bullshit, y'all. You see, they cut the little young man's hair off in front of for all y'all to see. And I know y'all know that shit was on purpose. So here's another group, the Black Hebrew Israelites. These motherfuckers so stupid. I mean, I don't even see how we Christians. We don't even read what they put out for us. So these are a group of Black Americans who believe they are the descendants of ancient Israelites, who believe. So they'll forget everything that they people did, they mothers and grandfathers had done. They'll go straight to this. They claim that they're Israelites. What? What does that have to do with America? Why are you trying to believe? Why are you trying to believe and be other people? That's the Negro's problem now. We're always trying to be somebody else but who we are. And while we're being Hebrewites, while we being Muslims, while we being Greeks, while we being Christians, the foreigners are coming over here taking what you had. Sounds simple, right? That's what they do. You're trying to be them, and they come over here and step right into your shoes. And you don't know. I didn't know. Nobody told me. What? What? That's where we are. Do some research on these cats. Very, very, very dumb religion. And because it's written from the Bible. And if you read the Bible, if you get to page 2 of the Bible and you still reading it, I don't know what to tell you. I won't say it on here because y'all will be mad. Why are you talking about us? That's the dumbest book I ever read. And I understand that many of us can't read. Many of us don't know how to read. And we read that and then we pass that shit down to our kids, which makes it worse. And since we've been holding on to that Bible, what has been our position?
What position?
Prisoners. This is the cat who came up with the group. Now this is something that I want you guys to see. This is the guy who came with this is one of the guys. I'm gonna show you the other. Now check this shit out, y'all. William Sanders Crowdy was an American soldier, preacher, entrepreneur, theologian, and pastor. As one of the earliest Hebrew Israelites in the United States, he established the Church of Gods and Saints of Christ. Now check this shit out. Now you're gonna get a whole different story when you go read his Hebrew Israelite, his group. In 1947, he was born in slavery in a plantation. So he was born a slave, I don't want to read it all, but it just gives you a little story. This is to embellish what he did. But I just want to go up, just show you this. This session does not cite any sources. This is Wikipedia, and I just got Wikipedia because I just want to give you a taste of it. You can go read he has a story, his Hebrew Israelites, they have a page, you can go read. It'll say some of this shit, but it's not clear. But check this out. After the war, he became a Buffalo Soldier. What's a Buffalo Soldier? So this is what gets me about us, how we just don't get it. We don't get it. Buffalo Soldier was the brothers who got guns and went to the army to kill other brothers in other parts in America. That's what the Buffalo Soldiers were. So we're supposed to clap and pat these cats on the back? This is the cat who came up with the group Hebrew Israelites. Now check out later. Now this is going to blow you away. After he did that, he was promoted to quartermaster sergeant in the 5th Cavalry after receiving his discharge in 1872. That's not that long ago, y'all. He later became a cook on the Santa Fe Railroad. Any of you guys who know about the railroads in America, the Santa Fe, you know about that. But check this shit out. He settled in Guthrie, Oklahoma after his retirement from the railroad. He started preaching. Check out what this cat did. In 1903, he bought 40 acres of land in Suffolk, Georgia, calling it Canaan land. Now, I don't know cooks in the 1800s who had the money to buy 40 acres of land. Maybe that was his 40 acres and a mule. I don't know. How did that happen? Was that his gift for leading many Negroes astray? You always see these Negroes who do this sacrifice, or they got to do sacrifices and all this stuff. Was he one of those cats? These are the people you have to check out. And who are those people that he took away, from their home, from their ideologies? What was those people do? How many people joined his group that were doing that grandmothers owned tobacco farms back in that day? How many of those people owned iron, smelted iron back then? How many of those people back there owned cotton fields? Because those were your industries here before everybody came. Europeans didn't bring cotton with them. You did that. That's why if you look on the money, they see you doing it. Can you close that door for me, please? Can you close that door for me? Thanks. Yes. So how is that possible? That cotton land is yours. That's why you're on the money on the cotton. Nobody told me. Nah, nobody told you, because they told you to be a Hebrew Israelite. They told you to be a Muslim. We in all of that bullshit. Okay, so here's another brother who was into it too. Wentworth Arthur Matthew, and I want you to pay a particular attention to this, because this happens a lot. It happened with Farrakhan. It happened with all these cats. All these cats are immigrants. What's that? A West Indian immigrant to New York City. He was influenced by the Pan-Africanism of Black nationalism by Marcus Garvey. This was another cat who started the Hebrew Israelites, Black Hebrew congregation, Black Hebrew congregation. Now, what I want you guys to pay particular attention to, when other people say Black, they say it with such disdain, it should make you sick. They say it with hatred, Black. That's how they say it. So you got all these immigrants coming up there to influence you. How is that possible? How do we let that happen? How do the people in the church, the ministers of the church, let that happen? And these people are compensated greatly for their works. This is one of the groups I hate the most because they do so much to damage to our people. It's not even funny. But I just want to show you what I want to show you is what they think, what they believe, and how they pass that dumb shit on to us. More in English usage, a Moroccan or formerly a member of the Muslim population of what is now Spain and Portugal, of mixed Arab, Spanish, and Berber origins. The Moors created the Arab Andalusian civilization and subsequently settled in North Africa between the 11th and 17th centuries. By responding to the Spanish Moro, the term denotes any Muslim in general, as in the case of Moors of Sri Lanka and the Philippines. What is that shit doing over here? What is that do? What are we doing? Like I said, we will pretend that we anybody but ourselves. And when you take on somebody else's identity, they just simply come over and take over yours. I really want to go through this because, like I said, it's a lot of noise here, and I don't want to, piss everybody off with the noise. So this is the funny part about it. So I always ask people, and I suggest that you guys do the same thing. Ask who are the women who birthed the Moors. I'll say that again. It's a simple question. You ask these Moors this question, and don't let them wiggle out of it like they gonna try to do. All people, every man, no man feet touches the ground lest he comes through a woman. It's hard for brothers in America to understand even stupid shit like this. And I'll show you some of the things that they believe. But who are the Moabites? The Moabites were created out of an incestuous relationship. These are the women who birthed the Moors. You think I'm lying? You think I'm lying? The Moabitess woman, this is the Moor Science Temple. See, I found it, Tony. This is the Moor Science Temples. This is their website. The Moabitess woman is the most respected and admired when she is reflecting her higher self. They're the women who fuck their fathers. And these people come tell us who we are. These people come tell you you ain't an indigenous person to America. You take what they say. Many of us do. So we're gonna keep going because I want to give it up. Just more about the Moabites. 5% nation, like you say, same thing. That Islam stuff. This brother here couldn't get along with Malcolm, couldn't get along with the Nation of Islam, so he broke off and did his own thing. And one of the things you got to ask yourselves: do any of these groups, how have they benefited the community? Have they benefited or have they harmed the community? This is the shit you got to ask yourself. We just can't go on believing stuff that don't work. You can't go on putting your faith in stuff where you see your people dying. And one thing you'll notice that all of these people started off in New York. Why New York? Because that's the United Nations. That's everybody on the East Coast who come on the East Coast. They got to go to New York to check in. Okay, so just another 5%. I'm getting somewhere with this, and I'm gonna turn it over. Here's another thing. This is called the Divine Nine. These are all those Greek organizations. Negroes want to be Greeks. Black Greeks. See, black. This is at blackgreek.com. What the hell is a Black Greek? And why are you being a Greek? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? This is what we're turning over to our children. We won't be here long. If all you got to do is go on YouTube and check out the Black Greeks, what they do, you'd be embarrassed. You'd be embarrassed. The Divine Nine, other groups that are here to take us off of our land, mentally, physically, they're trying to get rid of us so they can bring in Greeks to take your place. And I know all y'all see it. Can I get a witness? Just a couple more. So the Greek, they're into this. You'll see the Greeks, they're into this. This will blow you away. It's some Hellenic. It's called some Hellenic dynasty or some Hellenic. The National Pan-Hellenic Council. The National Pan-Hellenic Council. Check this shit out. Number one, Hellenic, Greek, a branch of the Indo-European language family comprising classical and modern Greek. What the fuck are we doing trying to be Greek? This is what your children go to college and they beat the shit out of them, and you know many of them die to be this. What are we doing? So you see why we suffer? It ain't on nobody else, because we passed the point of blaming other people for the shit that happens to us. This is shit that we do. We proud of it. Hey, I went to to give a lecture up at one of the college up North Carolina, and the Greek fraternities was up there at the hotel. It was packed. And I was just looking. And so what I did, I started asking people, how much money you think these Greek fraternities are spending in this hotel this weekend? They started getting there on Wednesday till Sunday. The answer I got ranged $100 million. Do you understand how you being pimped like a hoe? Because this is the shit we believe in. This is the shit that we do. This is what we do. But when we tell you you're not no African, when we tell you you're not no Greek, you mad at us. You want to cuss us out. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it right here. This is just some things that these are just groups. Now this is how I wanted to tie this in. Now all those groups I just named, and I didn't name all of them, but all those groups they just named. Could you imagine if all of them groups plus the people, the indigenous people on this planet, could you imagine the power they would have if they stopped cooning and came together and do what the fuck they supposed to do? If they started carrying out the wishes of their ancestors, could you imagine what we can do? I'll tell you one thing, we wouldn't be getting our lots cut off in no wrestling match. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you, Tony, and the rest of the group, and I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself and help out on the board. Thank you guys for listening.
Hey, Buck, much appreciation, man. Yo, I hope y'all took some notes. I hope what we're sharing with you is making sense to you, because we are aware. You know what I'm saying? As I mentioned a moment ago, this Boule Bleachout 2020, a major part of this is us having clear vision, 2020 vision. The year 2020 is coming up very, very soon. A lot of our people ain't prepared for next month, let alone the year 2020. What about the year 2120? Is preparations being made for that? Because all this bullshit that's been going on for over 90 years, 200 years, etc., right? It got us looking real silly right now. And we on the verge of fucking extinction. I'm just being honest with you right now. We on the verge of fucking extinction right now. While motherfuckers out being good consumers, supporting everything that doesn't support them, all right? It's killing all of us. Our land is suffering. The quality of the air, the quality of the water, the quality of our people, the minds, the spirit, the bodies of our people, everything is suffering. We are in the worst predicament, worse situation than what it was in the 1960s. That's just 60 years ago. That's damn near 60 years ago, and we worse than what we were, where we were 60 years ago. This is not a game, yeah. Hey, Phoenix, how you doing?
I'm all right, beloved. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yo, did you get that file?
Yes, I'll play it right now.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, people, pay attention. Y'all probably heard this before, but this is very important here. You know, as I mentioned initially, right? This is samples of Martin Luther King Jr. speaking, in addition to Malcolm X speaking. All right. Yo, Phoenix, I see that you're muted. Do you have to take the mute off so that you can play it?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm getting that file open. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, cool. Appreciate it. All right. So yeah. Once this is done, we're gonna have a dialogue about it, and I got some more text to read to y'all that's gonna tie into what Buck was saying, what Rick was saying, what Edwin Nathaniel was saying, and what Phoenix been saying. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna get in some shit.
Now let me know if you can hear it. Okay, hold on 1 second.
All right.
Can you hear it?
Nah.
Okay.
I didn't hear it.
Okay, hold on 1 moment. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm doing the screen share now. Hold on, here we go. Can you hear it now? Are you able to hear it?
No, it's not even going.
Okay. All right, hold on. Here we go. Let's do it this way.
Yo, my apologies, y'all. That's it. You hear Phoenix? Can you turn it up?
That's as loud as I could get it.
But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land.
It wanted to, but it has gotten into the possession of a man who's become senile in his old age and perhaps doesn't realize it. And then he has surrounded himself by his children who are now in power and want nothing but luxury and security and comfort and will do anything to safeguard their own interests. So I feel responsible for having played a major role in developing a criminal organization. It was not a criminal organization at the outstart. It was an organization that had the power, the spiritual power, to reform the criminal. And this is what you have to understand. As long as that strong spiritual power was in the movement, it gave the moral strength to the believer that would enable him to rise above all his negative tendencies. I know for a fact that there is a conspiracy between the Muslims and the Lincoln Rockwell Nazi and also the Ku Klux Klan. There is a conspiracy. Describe this conspiracy.
Take whatever method or measure is necessary to hold the Negroes in check. He feeds the type of statistics to the white public to make them think that Harlem is a complete criminal area, that everyone is prone toward violence. This gives the police the impression that they can then go and brutalize the Negroes or suppress the Negroes or even frighten the Negroes. Whenever something happens, 20 police cars converge on one area. This doesn't frighten Negroes. So it means that someone is either misinforming Commissioner Murphy and making him use tactics this year that he would not use 4 years ago, or that the former policeman Kennedy would not use. And this force that is so visible in the Harlem community creates a spirit of resentment in every Negro. They think they're living in a police state and they become hostile toward the policeman. They think that the policeman is there to be against them rather than to protect them. And these thoughts, these frustrations, these apprehensions automatically sufficient to make these Negroes begin to form means and ways to protect themselves in case the police themselves get too far out of line.
Followers are violent against Negroes.
Against Negroes?
Yes, his followers will go out and attack another Negro, like they will attack me. Or they will brutalize a fellow Muslim who breaks the law. But you don't find those same followers going out and becoming involved in the Negro struggle in any way whatsoever. Now, the violence that he accuses me of is my tendency to want to participate in the struggle of the Negro at all levels. This is what he calls violence. So, yes, when I said that no one can clean up our home but us, and that we will clean it up, including and no one should control it but us, including the politics. What do I mean? I mean exactly that.
Okay, that was the end of the audio.
Yeah. Thank you, Phoenix.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so as y'all just heard, right? So begin with Malcolm X, birth name Malcolm Little, whose mother was Choctaw, right? He was saying that we're Aborigines. Okay, he said that very, very clear, which goes against everything the Nation of Islam has been saying for what? The past 90 years? All right. Next is we had Martin Luther King saying the Negro is an exile in his own land, which ties back into what Malcolm X said about us being the Aborigine / Aboriginal / the original American people, of course, right? He also said segregation, right? Poverty, and a whole bunch of shit from 60 years ago we still dealing with 60 years later, right? So with this being true, we should ask ourselves, what has been preventing our people from progressing past the shit that was affecting us 60 years ago. These Boule motherfuckers and their varieties. Okay. Before I continue, right, because I'm about to get back into these texts, I'm about to show y'all some shit. I'm about to read y'all some serious shit. All right. I'm gonna post this to the A4 book club once this presentation is over. All right. So before I do that, would anybody like to jump in before I continue?
Yes, I like to add to it.
Much appreciation, Edwin.
Yeah. We need to stop actually agreeing with what we see is an occupation of the Americas by these foreigners and especially the ones from Europe. Because when you stop to think about it, everything that they're doing refers to that third world over there that they're doing their commerce for and by. Okay? When you agree with Caucasians in saying that they're Americans, you not only empower them, you disable yourself because you're connected to this land. And there's nothing better than empowering yourself to know that you're home. So stop agreeing with them in your conversations because you're giving them every means to continue doing what they're doing to you. And that's what I have to say about that.
Yo, Edwin, that's appreciated. And this is why we encourage our people. All right. You know, we encourage them get into your genealogy. You know, that's very important. You will see who your people have always been. All right. You may get some surprises. You may get some shocks. You may be in awe. But this is for our American people here. You know what I'm saying? Our American people need to know their own truth because nobody else is going to give us our truth, nor will they give us full disclosure. All right. Hey, Rick Moon, what's good?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, did Phoenix want to chime in on anything? Because, you know, she been kind of quiet.
Yo, Phoenix, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just kind of looking at the chat. I was interested in some of the conversations that they were having, some really harsh allegations against Malcolm X, and his alleged homosexuality. I don't know anything about that. That's kind of the first time I've ever really heard that question.
I've heard that before.
With the the Boule situation, I certainly don't doubt it. But I was actually just taking some inventory. That was and it's been said by more than one person in the chat. So I'm trying to
Hey, Rick,
that's another conversation that I hope to elaborate more on at another time. I do notice that when you look up the words sigma, the word pi, the word phi, and their usage in the Americas, once that the peak of their usage is during this time, the 1920s, the 1910s, the bottom half of the 1900s is where these words that would have existed in the 4th, 5th century, right? If it's alleged Greek and their alleged antiquity. But these words, the sigma, pi, phi, they did not reach their peak of usage until these Boule organizations were created in the bottom half of the 1900s. I just find that coincidence. Not only do I like to study the etymology of a lot of these words, but I also like to look at the peak in usage and in what country they were used in. So this way you can relate them back, to specific time frames and places and geographically, and also, you find out a lot of context clues by knowing that. But if these words were, such ancient order of the Greeks in antiquity, how come the peak usage was not until the times where you have your commandment keepers, the William Crowdeys, and the Malcolm X's, and I believe Malcolm X's parents, the Littles, were also commandment keepers, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to say also Martin Luther King, Michael King's father, was as well. So I just find the usage of those words interesting, and the peak in when these bully programs, about roughly 90 years or so ago, to the date, that these programs have, the usage of these words have actually peaked in conversations throughout the United States.
Yo, that's very interesting. Yeah, these people, they have been influential. They've been consistent in their activities, their communication, their relationships, and their unnatural practices. They have been very consistent for over 100 years. The Boule was formed in 1904, the same year that Samuel P. Scott wrote that book in regards to the history of the Moors. Hey Rick, I want to ask you, when did you first hear about Malcolm X, better known as Malcolm Little, or I said it in reverse, right? But when did you first hear about him being a homosexual though? Because that's kind of crazy. I don't really like to deal with that subject matter, but I do know that the dude, Martin Luther King Jr., his speechwriter, Bayard Rustin, he was a well-known homosexual.
Yeah,
Who was writing speeches, organizing, and doing this, that, and the other. And Martin Luther King, he spent a lot of time with that known homo back then and shit, right?
Right. That's true. Well, before I get into that, let me say this. I'm all of these people who they put in front of us, who the European has put in front of us and called us our heroes and all that stuff. As far as I'm concerned, they guilty until proven innocent. Say that again. They are guilty until proven innocent, because I know that these people have given me the wrong history. So everybody guilty. The thing about Malcolm X, I got a few questions about Malcolm X. And yes, I have heard that story. As a matter of fact, I even heard a story that's how he got the name Detroit Red. From sucking red, I ain't gonna say the rest. But I got questions about Malcolm too, and one of them being that you are the number 2 man in the Nation of Islam behind Elijah Muhammad. Well, how come you didn't know what Elijah Muhammad was up to? I mean, I just find it hard to believe that the next man in charge would know stuff like that. And like I said, a lot of these guys, they become heroes, after they die first. And then, and it's just that anybody that they put out there that we supposed to cling to and accept as our greatest heroes or whatever, they're guilty. They're guilty until I find out different. Now, I will say this about Malcolm X. I found out less about him than I have a lot of the other guys. King, we find stuff about King all day. From him being communist and all that other stuff too. That he was doing. Yeah, he was communist.
Interesting.
His daddy was too.
Wow.
Can I add to that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
This savior and hero worship, I'm not about that. If any of you want a savior, you need to start looking in the mirror. That's your savior right there. We need to stop this, because every time, well, let me just say it this way. All these so-called leaders, the only leaders I ever knew was my mother and my father growing up. Okay? So think about it. Every time a person looks to a leader, in essence, do you know what they're actually saying? They want somebody to replace or play the role of their mommy and their daddy. Once you get a certain age, you're supposed to be able to make decisions on your own as an adult. Otherwise, what are you passing on to your children? What kind of pattern is that?
Yo, I want to throw in there. So you had the rapper, everybody know the rapper that went by the name of Tupac. You know, he said something years ago in one of his songs, you have a race of babies that hate the ladies, right? In regards to what you said, Edwin, we got a whole bunch of minorities running around acting like minorities, grooming and breeding more minorities, when in all reality, we are the majority. This is on us. We have a responsibility. We have a duty to maintain our collective dignity, our collective honor, our collective integrity. All this leadership, all this, oh, he's a savior, Savior's Day, and giving money to these motherfuckers, taking money, you extracted money from your household, your home, from your community to give to somebody who's not even involved or contributing to what you and yours is dealing with on a regular basis. Whether you want to do day to day, you want to do month to month, or you want to do year to year, generation to generation. 90 fucking years? Other organizations with 100 plus years? And they haven't done nothing for all the communities in which they have influenced, really corrupted, really sabotaged. They contribute to the criminal, illegal, perverse activities that's going on all around us. You wonder why we suffering? Because we supporting the motherfuckers that produces, they manufacturing. These motherfuckers are strategists. Yo, I'm about to get into this text, but I want to, before I get back to these readings, right? You know, because it's a couple pages, because I want to take people's time, but I'm gonna get to a couple pages. Buck, I don't know if you'll be able to show it, but I may have to do it on my channel, or I may have to tag one of our other people in on one of their channels so that we could go ahead and get it in. You know what I mean? But I got these texts and I'm about to read them. Before I do it, would anybody else like to jump in? Because we about to have a conversation as I read through this shit, because this shit gets funky.
Hey,
Let me just say this
Tony.
about let me just say this about the Martin Luther King and the Malcolm X thing. And Edwin is right. All that savior worship is bullshit. What we should be looking at these cats for is look at their lives. From the time that they birthed to the time that they die, how did they evolve, or how did it be better? I'm pretty sure Malcolm X, he's in jail. Malcolm X was a criminal. Malcolm X was was prostituted out by, what's the sister name who everybody loved? I know why the cage bursting. Maya Angelou. Okay, I got that. But does he now today? You went to the homosexual big time. You with it. Yo, Barack Obama, who most Negroes love, he made it possible for them to get more rights than you got. But this is what I want to say about that behavior. None of us are perfect. If you 50 years old still going to a strip club, you a loser. You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to evolve. Was Malcolm X gay when he died? I don't think so. So we evolved, and remember, both of these brothers was under 40 when they died. So how you got 45 and 50-year-old Negroes still doing the same dumb shit they've been doing their whole life? You have to evolve. And that's what this whole presentation, when we talking about, is saying. You can't stay stuck on stupid forever. You gotta grow. Like Edwin said, why do you have to have a leader? Lead yourself. Okay, Tony, I'm gone, man. You go ahead with it.
All right. Rick was going to say something, though. Hey, Rick, what's good?
Oh no, I'm good right now. If you want to go ahead and say what you got to say, what I got to say can wait.
I got one more thing. I got one more thing to add.
Oh shit, Edwin, get him. Edwin, get him.
You know, the truth of the matter is, nobody could represent you but you. Or I like to say, there is no authority outside of yourself. Do you actually believe that a man or woman, or a few of them, are capable of being able to decide what's best for you? You actually really believe that? Now, multiply that by 300 million. How is it possible for people who have their own internal conflicts to know what's best for you? That's not possible. It's impossible. It's always been impossible. And that's why I say those things, because what I try to do is try to get people to see that the people that you revere, they're no different than you, more or less. So to, place them in these positions of a god or demigod is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And, I get tired of it. I don't know why enough people don't get tired of it. Because there's more, you have more to offer than what they lead you to believe. They don't know it all. You got these individuals, they need advisors. And even among those advisors, they don't know what is coming down the pike at any time. So, it's all a facade. It's all a dog and pony show. And when you're on your own land, how can somebody come from across the great expanse of the two oceans and come here and lead you to believe that they had all the answers? They came all the way over here to literally, they lead you to believe in history in these schools that they came all the way over here to administer freedom, justice to you. That's not what happened. Matter of fact, many of them were criminals. Matter of fact, they set up 13 penal colonies here. That's what that shit was all about. So if you really ask me, their drive for freedom was based upon them as prisoners when they came over here. They were the slaves that were coming across the Atlantic. But you don't hear that being discussed. But see, you want to accept the notion that all of us here, well, on the land of Americas, we came in the bottom of a slave ship. Millions of people. First of all, that's a lot logistically impossible with the boats that they had those days in the time span that they described. Impossible. Totally impossible. And that's it. That's all I have to say.
All right. Yo, anybody else wants to jump in? Because I'm about to go in. Yo, we about to double dutch this real quick. What's good?
Go ahead on them, Tony.
I bet. Here we go, y'all. All right. So we're dealing with this text right here. This is page 4 of the Dictionary of Secret Societies and Organizations, okay? This you can download. I'm going to slam this up in A4 Book Club of African American Africans Facebook, all right? Much appreciation to our A4 peoples that presented this content right here. This book, incredible. Here we go. First organization we're going to deal with is called the African Blood Brotherhood. Now listen, y'all, listen. This is a fraternity of Negro peoples with headquarters at 2299 7th Avenue, New York. It has fraternal and benevolent features. The ABB is described by its executive head, Cyril V. Briggs, as an organization working openly where possible, secretly where necessary, for the rights and legitimate aspirations of the Negro workers against exploitation on part of either white or black capitalists. Okay, continuing. It is a workers' organization. Now let's fast forward to the good parts. well, not really the good parts, the shit these motherfuckers is really about. All right, let me scroll through this page real quick. The ABB is internationally rooted, having posts throughout the colored world, Africa, the West Indies, South and Central America, as well as in the United States of North America. It has an initiation ceremony and a ritual. It has 7 degrees, the first being given upon entry, the second 5 for educational progress, the last and 7th for superlative service. Let's continue. The concordant referred to by Mr. Briggs is entitled Toward Realization of United Negro Front. Don't we hear this same shit today? Motherfuckers want our American people to unite with all the quote-unquote black people of the world. But meanwhile, all the quote-unquote black people of the world, hey, I might just, my mic, pardon me. Let me go to pull it back up. Yeah. Nobody's trying to unite with our American people. They're trying to steal from us. They're trying to take from us. All the quote-unquote black people of the world, when they come to America, look at those damn Africans in which these pan-Africans and these pro-black motherfuckers, look how these Africans come to this country and treat our American people. And motherfuckers won't be talking about unity and all that dumb shit. No, our American people got to stick to ours. It's about us and ours. That's what this is about. So hold on, let me continue real quick. My apologies. Okay, so toward realization of United Negro Front and signed by representatives of the following organizations: the African Blood Brotherhood, the Friends of the Negro Freedom, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Oh, wait, look at this shit. All right, National Equal Rights League, the National Race Congress, the International Uplift League, assembled in conference in New York City, March 23rd through the 24th, 1920, motherfucking 3. Hey, y'all, let's get to this shit. Hold on. There's something very specific I'm looking for here. Let me fast forward. Fast forwarding. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, here we go. This is it right here. So now, to organize the national strength of the entire Negro group in America for the purpose of extending moral and financial aid and, where necessary, leadership to our blood brothers on the continent of Africa and in Haiti and the West Indies in their struggle against white capitalist exploitation. Absolute race equality. In this question are inextricably bound the issues of political equality, social equality, and economic equality. Let one be denied, and the whole principle of racial equality is denied. The fostering of racial self-respect by dissemination of the true facts concerning the Negro's contributions to modern civilization and the predominant part played in the ancient world by the African peoples. Hey, yo, Africans had nothing to do with this shit here in America. We know this to be true. How do we know this to be true? Why the fuck are Africans in Africa trying to imitate our American people? Anything that we do, them motherfuckers want to try to do, right? Stop fucking playing. Africans don't like fried chicken. Stop playing. Let's keep it moving. Organized and uncompromising opposition to the Ku Klux Klan. Well, okay, keep that right there in mind, because now we about to go to some shit real quick. Let me run that back. Because let me tell you, you had to do Marcus Garvey, who had a hand in this organization right here. You're going to see that next. Now we have the African League. All right. So what was the first league? The African Blood Brotherhood. Now let's go to the African League. This is one of a number of secret organizations of Negroes established by Marcus Garvey. All right. Shout outs to those fucking Garveyites, such as Dr. Football Bronson. You know, he's the actor and shit that be taking people's money to build a school. He's acting like he's going to build a school, but he doesn't. Did he act like he's going to go to law school, right? That snigger rather, he's a snigger. All right. Let me calm down just a little bit. So, Marcus Garvey, a native of the West Indies who came to the United States about 1905, where he posed as provincial president of Africa. Yo, hold up, Sean. Let me get this right real quick. You was born in the West Indies, so how are you the provincial president of Africa? How does that work? But and took upon himself to grandiloquent. He took on the title of the leader of the Negro peoples of the world. Hey, Edwin Nathaniel. Hey, people, y'all heard what Edwin Nathaniel said about them leaders, right? These people self-determine themselves to be leaders, self-determine themselves to be chiefs. But yo, who made you chief? Was you elected? Was you selected? How did you become this grandiose thing here, huh? How did that happen? All right, let's continue. He started an international movement among Negroes to set up a black empire in Africa. So hold on, son. Hold on. Let me get this shit straight real quick. Marcus Garvey, you mean to tell me you was born in the West Indies, right? You're from the West Indies. You come to North America after you got ejected, like you got exiled from Jamaica. The people in Jamaica didn't like you, so they got rid of you, right? So you come to America with that bullshit, right? And then you're telling our American people why you're trying to take our resources so that you can be what? Set up a black empire in Africa? Hey, people, do you understand what's going on here? And assumed the role of a dictator. So Marcus Garvey was a dictator, okay? Let me continue. Conferring on himself the power to hand out, as he saw fit, high-sounding titles to favorite subjects. Wow. His favorite subjects, right? Subjects mean someone that's under him, an underling, a minion, right? A follower, his favorite follower, all right? He organized steamship lines, a chain of banks, and a chain of stores, a daily newspaper, etc. In June 1923, Garvey was sentenced to the Atlanta Penitentiary for 5 years for fleecing the public through the sale of Black Star steamship line stock. If I recall correctly, fleecing the public means that you deceive the public into buying non-existent stock. That sounds like Hemlock. I don't know how many of y'all know about the dude with Hemlock, right? But anyway, you got this quote-unquote indigenous dude by the name of Hemlock Shelop, who was a bishop, who was married to a Caucasoid female, who he tried to scam in conjunction with a Caucasian female, the United States Army, tried to scam them, okay? And then in regards to fleecing the public, well, he was selling some fake identification cards, you know, the old Moorish tactic, you know, it was like 20 years old, sell you an ID card, and it's supposed to be a get out of jail free card or something like that. And well, his cards never came. Nobody never got their cards. A few people may have gotten their cards, but that's like literally like maybe 10 out of 1,000 people that paid for it. Yeah, it's a scam. All right, continuing. Now, Garvey's career is sketched by Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, all right, in the Century for February 1923, where we also learned the interesting fact that the last support of Garveyism before its collapse came from the Ku Klux Klan. Woo! Doesn't that sound familiar? What did Malcolm X just say about the Nation of Islam and Muslims and all of that? That they work with the Lincoln Rockwell Nazis. Y'all might want to look that up. In addition to them having an agreement with not only the Lincoln Rockwell Nazis, but also the Ku Klux Klan. Now, why would they have an agreement with them when they're supposed to be in support of our American people? Or pardon me, the Negro people. Because, you know, Negro means black and American means exactly that, American. Now, y'all know what the definition of American is, right? Shouts to 1828 definition of America. Shouts to all the A4 peoples that have been putting in that work over the years. You know what I mean? Making the memes, bubbling through our social media. But let's continue. When Garvey saw his Black Star line disappear, his West Indian membership fell off. Wow. So his leadership, the members was like, fuck that snigger, right? And his American listeners grow increasingly critical. So our American people's looking at this nigga like, hey, yo, snigger, what the fuck is you talking about, snigger? All right, let's continue. Says Dr. Du Bois, he flew south to consult the grand cyclops of the invisible empire. Whether the initiative came from him or from the Klan is not known. but probably the Klan invited him. So hold on. Whatever the case may be, your favorite black leader, right? Marcus Garvey, he sat down with the KKK and they supported him. But with what terms and conditions? Just like with the Nation of Islam. Under what terms and conditions? We don't know what that contract entailed. We have no idea. Perhaps the people should go ahead and do some research into that, right? Y'all should do your own due diligence into that, right? Okay, the triumph of the Klan would drive Negroes to his program in despair. Do you hear that? While the Klan's sympathy would enable him to enter the South, where he has not dared to work and exploit the ignorant black millions. Okay, so pretty much that's the agreement right there. Also, Garvey openly advertised the Klan's program as showing the impossibility of the Negroes remaining in America. Hey, Phoenix, doesn't this sound like some ACS shit, some American Colonization Society kind of shit right here? Don't it sound like that?
So. Very much so. And Marcus Garvey was absolutely, I have yet to find the contract, but I've totally seen the connection with the American Colonization Society and Marcus Garvey. I don't think people realize that this office was open for over 150 years. From 148 on record from 1816 at the time of their incorporation, up until 1964 when we got the right to vote. I don't think people realize that. From the 1816 all the way to 1964. So when Marcus Garvey had this failed attempt and he was infiltrated by the FBI, shout out to J. Edgar Hoover, and this is even prior to his mail fraud. This is something that he was dealing with Cox down in Virginia, known eugenicist, Walter Plecker. They had a very strange relationship. And they were in agreement. And at this point, the idea of Liberia for that particular generation of, with them implementing these Boule organizations, it took for them to have some sort of stake in whatever it was that they were trying to get us, again, at that point, to go and colonize what we now know as Liberia, Sierra Leone, and essentially the entire west coast of Africa over there. Ooh. So Marcus Garvey was absolutely, it was not his idea. Liberia was not just a place that he chose. That was a place that he was designated to get people to go to.
Well, hey, Fitty, can I jump in real quick? Yo, so shouts to all those people that took those DNA tests. You pay for lies and shit like that. You pay to be lied to. Yo, hey, Phoenix, question. In your awareness, right? Don't people be directed to West Africa of all places throughout the entire world, right? When they take those DNA tests, they're directed straight to West Africa in conjunction with, or should we say they're paying to, participate in this ACS campaign, right?
Unbeknownst to them, yes.
Wow.
I would agree. There is a number of things that could be done with those samples. Once you have given them full consent, they're really, you at that point you've waived your right to, have it destroyed or even have it do exactly whatever it was that you thought it was going to do. Henceforth, their disclaimer for entertainment purposes only, particularly for Ancestry.com. But thanks to Dr. Fatou Diarra, we now have more insight, and 23andMe does things a little bit differently than Ancestry, from my understanding. And in my experience, that has been the primary source of Pan-Africans that they particularly use. So I don't know exactly what part of their organization. They must have some sort of stock in Ancestry.com. Mm-hmm. Or some sort of sponsorship from those particular places and any other covert operations that may be available, or exposing them to try and persuade us to get, give them a sample of our genetic matter. But it is really, a lot of people were not aware that Marcus Garvey and Walter Flecker had a very, very bonded relationship.
Oh,
Hey, let me add something on top of what Phoenix said, because this is real important. And I would suggest everybody go check out a sister called Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks and the HeLa cell. And when we give our DNA up, like Phoenix just say, we don't know what the hell we doing. We don't know who's getting it and what they're doing with it. So these stories that are coming out about your people, think Henrietta Lacks is your people, but she is. They take your DNA and do whatever the hell they want to do to it, and you sitting on the corner. I didn't, but nobody told me. I didn't know that shit. So very important what you said, Phoenix. I'm out.
The other person that Marcus Garvey had an allegiance to, as I said, was Cox. His name is Ernest Sevier Cox, and he was born in 1880. Let me try and do a screen share here so I can give you a little
go Phoenix,
intel.
go Phoenix, go.
Let's see.
Boule Bleachout 2020, yeah.
Okay, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, and this is Encyclopedia of Virginia. Ernest Sevier Cox, 1880 to 1966. Ernest Sevier Cox was a committed white supremacist who advocated on behalf of anti-miscegenation laws, and in 1922 co-founded with composer John Powell the Anglo-Saxon Clubs of America, a Richmond-based nationwide organization devoted to maintaining a strict separation of the races. In 1923, Cox published White America, a book that described his travels in Africa of the races. In 1923, Cox published White America, a book that described his travels in Africa and argues that race mixing would result in the collapse of white civilization. He also wrote extensively on eugenics, a now discredited scientific movement aimed at proving the superiority of the white race. Together with composer Powell and Virginia State Registrar Walter Flecker, Cox played an influential role in lobbying the Virginia General Assembly to pass the Racial Integrity Act of 1924, a strict anti-miscegenation law, and later the Massenburg Bill, which banned racial mixing in all public places. In 1924, Cox formed an unlikely alliance with the Black nationalist Marcus Garvey, based on their shared belief that the only way to save the races was for African Americans to relocate to Africa. So this was
not that crazy.
Yeah, this was the allegiance that they had. So Cox retired from the real estate business in 1958. And again, like I said, now the American Colonization Society did not close until 1964. And after the passing of those consecutive Civil Rights Acts, 64, 65, and then again in 68, right after that, they ran out of straws because it was in plain black and white again that these are the rights of Indians, right? They may nickname the Civil Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act. Any way you put it, you know who was being discriminated against when it came to fair housing and any instances of equal opportunity, okay? So with that being said, shortly thereafter, they raid the college campuses that are now desegregated. And what do? They put all these horrible Donald Goines books and these, those pimp books, the Iceberg Slims. And here you go with the Black Power. And here comes the Kwanzaa. And here comes the RBG community. And everybody, so-called African Americans, have been fucking mesmerized ever since. They've been completely enchanted without those groups.
Hey, Phoenix, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
As a mother, as an American mother and daughter, right? How do you feel about all of this shit? I'm just curious.
Well, I know I can't save the world by myself, but what I have committed myself to doing a long time ago is trying to restore, reorganize, and redistribute responsibilities within my own family, with my own kinfolk. That's about as much as I control. I try to drop these same messages that I feel would apply and strengthen any other Aborigine family out there. Not because, it's the best way to go. I've just been really um, really aggressive in a lot of these situations that normally people back out of or feel defeated from or assign somebody else the responsibility to make sure. But I can't rely on a third party to make sure that my family is protected. I just think that that's foolish. So it's my obligation. And again, we're supposed to be thinking for 7 generations ahead. And in the last 90 years, we're talking about and discussing right now all of the distractions that have, prohibited us from being more prepared. So that kind of doubled the workload in addition to, all of the things that we have to deal with. However, I do see at this point, the wake is real. The wake and bake is real, and the Indian is on it right now. So I'm excited about the solutions. We don't have to worry about problems. Unfortunately, that's Black people shit. This Boule, now y'all bringing this to the table, and shout out to Rick Moon for bringing this about consistently. So this Boule 2020 is definitely necessary, and we're gonna keep banging on them. It's gonna get realer. Um, the names come out, the information and their organizations and stuff like that. These are the things that our people need to be aware of. And also keep in mind that a lot of these people opt out of these exposed Black extreme organizations, and now they are more covert and they're hiding under the banner of Indigenous. So just make sure they don't get none of your money and sell sell you all the water under the bridge and shit. That's going to be important too, and that's a responsibility that I feel people need to make sure they know who they're dealing with. Just because they come waving a feather doesn't mean they don't come from out of these camps that we've been speaking about tonight. So don't let them smear no doo-doo juice on it, no black juice on it, because it's not the same thing that it is for the Indian. This means a lot more to us, and we got a lot more at stake. So I make sure I let my children know this all the time. They're a lot more interested in what I'm doing and what I'm talking about. And when they see certain situations now, my daughter's been telling me how she refers people to, check out some of these things that my mom's was talking about. If you could relate to that, then, you might have some insight on what to do. So it's becoming a lot more accepted. And these are from a lot of people that didn't want to hear me just now. Everybody knows it's Christmas. I don't deal with that, but I don't give my family a hard time. We find any reason to get together. And if we didn't do it today, we do it tomorrow or the day after. So um, it's really neither here nor there. But during these times, I can now have these conversations and not be, in the hot seat or looked at as the outcast. So I'm gonna tell, all the people to make sure that you don't stop, but just find a better way to present it.
That's right.
And as long as you're hitting them with the logic, and not the nonsense, and you got something to show for it, there's really nothing nobody could tell you, not even your family. So when you find those ways, and then not only that, like I said, you spend time getting on a level in certain instances, you know what I'm saying? Only excuse I would make for going to church would be for the elders, that the silver haired people, not I'm not going, just to connect with the cousins and stuff like that. But the elders and everything, to me, they're worth it. That's the area. They've been doing that 50 years. That's longer than I've been alive. So certain things that I would do with the elders just to make sure I get a connection with them, that I'm not going through all of that with my cousins that's, peers and stuff like that. But as far as these Boule organizations, it's good that they know, you know, not to be joining none of these squads and stuff like that. And that's one thing that I love about coming from a big family. I never felt compelled to join no squad, no gang, no cliques, no crews, and you know, none of these organizations and stuff like that. I really wasn't a good Israelite and stuff like that. My mouth is crazy, and plus I don't like being bossed around. You see what I'm saying? So and then you know, not giving up on grandma. More importantly, it didn't matter what I felt connected to. I didn't feel any more connected to anything externally than I do with the very things that have designed my internal, and that's my bloodline. So, with that being said, I'm gonna just tell everybody, you know, make sure um, y'all aware what type of friends y'all got and start separating and disconnecting yourselves from some of these things. Even biker clubs are associated with some of these Greek fraternities. It's not just, and then within those biker clubs and those Greek fraternities, there's also internal cliques within some of these organizations that are union based, such as corrections, such as the police fraternal orders, such as, you know, the even down to the ambulance and the fire department and all these people and these, you know, they have all these connections, but they're also they're members of different societies that we don't know anything about, and we can't join them. They're not going to extend these invitations to just certain people. They have a certain type of person that they look for, and they try to build with that. And so far, they've been successful. But a lot of people, the more people that go back to grandma, the less successful these Boule organizations are going to be. And there's going to be some unemployed house niggas stepping fetchits running around this motherfucker. And that's pretty much what we need to make sure occurs.
That's right.
Yo, hey Phoenix, yo, I appreciate everything you said. Thank you for answering that. You know, I just want to give everybody time, a chance to you know, get it in before I continue. I know everybody's time is valuable and their energy is important, but you know, I got to get through a couple more pages. Before I do that though, Phoenix, I want to ask you one more question.
Go
May I
for
do
it.
that? All
Yes.
right. Hey man, check it out. As an empress, as a Miko or Hoyo, right? Can you share with us, you know, all of us, you know, all the listeners, right? All of our American people primarily, especially, right? Can you share with us what you would like to see happen based based on this information that's being provided through this presentation and all the African American Africans, A4 Truth, Coward season is over, Scalp season is on, material through all of our A4 members. Can you share your perspective of what you would like to see happen?
Yes, I'd like to see. Okay, so you know, for the people that have taken a step and have joined some of these organizations and these different odd groups, um, now would be a good time to step back and do a little more observing instead of participating. Grown folks don't need to fit in, be looking for places that they fit in, right? Because you're always gonna fit in fine with the people that you came from, right? Or like-minded people, and within those same categories. Particularly consanguinity. I'm always going to deal with the people that you might be kinfolk with, whether it's 6 degrees of separation or, you know, 10 times removed from the family. Bloodline is still bloodline, and nothing ever changes that. So I would like to see some of these people start writing manifestos, exposing. Be very careful and diligent, but you're inside. You might as well come out and do the right thing and step away from having your hand in oppression or having your hand in things that are, you know, relative to grandma killers, right? You don't want to have your hand in this ethnocide. It's not going to end up well for you. It doesn't matter what type of trinkets, you know, that they promise you or what type of status or position they promise to elevate you. Think about the overall thing. And I'm gonna say, what would your grandma say? Right? Because if grandma wouldn't approve of what the outcome is of what you're doing, then you probably shouldn't do it. Right? Think about we the people. Don't think about you and lining your pockets up. You know, Tomahawk always talks about dollar your dignity. It's time people really, really look inside themselves and see what that means to them. See what that means to them, and see what that's going to mean 7 generations down the line. It's not going to help you to contribute to, some of these the worst fears that we have about some of these things that we see, and it's no longer fear because now we're active. It's more or less some of the things that we wish not to see anymore, right? Because some people are still fearful of them, but there's a good chunk of us that's going to fight tooth and nail, no matter what it is that they think they're going to take from us, right? And in some instances, it's the ultimate sacrifice, the things that nobody wants to lose the most, right? But at the end of the day, the integrity's gotta make sure that nothing that we lose on the line for doing the right thing goes in vain. That's what I'm gonna say. People gotta start figuring out if they for the people or for themselves. Because if you're for yourself, that's gonna be temporary. It's gonna be temporary. It's always
Nation or
harder doing it
individual?
that way. Right,
Thinking as a nation or thinking as an
right.
individual, acting
That,
on
that's
behalf
right.
or with the nation or acting by yourself as an
That's right.
individual.
That's the fact, especially for the people, that would feel that they like to call themselves chief and stuff like that. You have to be someone that thinks like a nation, not someone that and thinks for the nation, right? And the nation must come before you because you don't
That's
exist
right.
without it. So in those
That's right.
instances, if people are having a hard time with that understanding of it, then you're not fit to be a chief. That means that you can be an Indian and that you're okay with taking responsibility and being told what your responsibilities are based on your attributes, right? But let it be us. Let it be the people that are in those positions that are able to be in a chieftainship, right? I would say that you would rather be an Indian to the people that are loyal to you and the people that are for you. You shouldn't want to have it any other way.
Yo, Phoenix, yo, I appreciate you. All right. Hey, does anyone else want to jump in, add anything? Because I'm about to continue. Um, yo, Edwin Nathaniel, yo, man,
Yeah,
you a man of many words. What's
yeah. I'd
good?
like to add something. Something. It's
Mm-hmm.
courtesy of Charlene Brown.
Mm-hmm.
She had posted this in A4. This is from the perspective of a European, especially when they were exploring. It's called The Dark Races of Men, 1794. I'm just going to read an excerpt in light of what we were discussing about Marcus Garvey and the ACS, American Colonization Society. After some 4,000 years of historic period, all we have is a chronology, chronology full of errors and falsehood. Oh, sorry. Let me back up. I'm sorry about that. Okay, Dark Races of Men,
Yo,
1794.
take your time. Take your time. Get them. 8-4, get them.
Did we know the law of their origin? We should know the law of their extinction. But this we do not know. All is conjecture, uncertainty. After some 4,000 years of historic period, all we have is chronology full of errors and falsehood, unintelligible, incomprehensible. We find the dark races still on the earth. Of their ancient history, absolutely nothing is known, nor does it matter in what region of the globe we first viewed them. They are confined to no particular zone, but spread as it were from pole to pole, from the Arctic to the Antarctic Circle. If the if the Lapps be a dark race, then the dark races exist in Europe as a race. Asia abounds with them. Africa has always been considered their stronghold. Now I'm going to jump down to the Americas. But it is in America, the last discovered by the civilized European, where we find the stronghold of the colored race. From the land of fire to the ice-bound polar sea. Nature had darkened every race unmistakably, nor had the Eskimo or circumpolar races escaped the coloration. Like their brethren in Asia, inhabiting the same zone, though far removed from the tropical heats, they are also deeply colored, a dark race with indelible osseous and other structural characteristics of the colored races of men. End quote.
Hey, y'all, I would like y'all interpretation. Can anyone gauge the chat real quick? Because I'm not looking at the chat right now. What was just read? Much appreciation to Charlene Brown. Much appreciation of her. She has, she's an A4 veteran. You feel me? Like Edwin Nathaniel, Rick Moon, Mr. Davis, you know what I'm saying? Like so many of our people's A4 veterans, man, been putting in great information for our collective awareness. So like I would really like, some feedback on what Edwin Nathaniel just read on behalf of Charlene Brown's presentation of that text right there. Does anybody have anything to add to that or any perspective? Because I'll just go first real quick. Our American people, we stand alone. This is ours. We have a duty and responsibility. It's our dignity, it's our honor, it's our integrity, it's our existence that's on the line. Because all them other motherfuckers that was mentioned in that text, right? All of them motherfuckers want to come here and fuck with us. They want us to support them and all they foreign bullshit. They fucked up where they was at, and now they want to come here and fuck us up so they continue and they could build off of what we have. That's identity theft amongst all kinds of other shit. That's just my take on it, though, right? Because we can't learn nothing from them motherfuckers. They destroyed their shit. They fled their shit, and our American people ain't fleeing. Our people in Chicago ain't fleeing Chicago. Our people in New York ain't fleeing New York. Our people in the Americas, period, we ain't fleeing. We not fleeing our homeland. That's not in our nature, because we are sacred people. That's my take on that text. Does anybody want to?
However, I will say this though, in a more domestic sense. Now, as far as the people of Chicago, even as far as the people of Flint, Michigan, they should be able to flee to the next state. They should be able to flee to the next city and be welcome as refugees, especially in all of these sanctuary cities that they got around here. Ran by Boule people. Why can't they go to the sanctuary cities? They're in their own country of Illinois right now. They're in their own country in Illinois, and they can't avoid gunshots and funeral costs. They're in Flint, Michigan, in their homeland country right now and can't get regular necessities. I don't want to see them 35 feet a child in Africa somewhere for 35 cents a day. That's when these kids in school can't even have bathing water. You can't even bathe. They having skin conditions, lead poisoning. They got all these problems. This is a whole 2 to 3 generations of people suffering right now.
And not just Flint neither. Yo, down in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, fucking California, Baltimore, New York, the shit is going on in New York, New Jersey. Right. This shit's going on in fucking Pennsylvania. Across the Americas. Hey, I showed that shit like early this year. My bad. Pardon me I get excited. Hold on. Look up super funds. Super funds. SUPERFUNDS, yo. Look up super funds and you will see what the fuck is going on, man. Radioactive waste. Right. Okay? Right. Across the country.
Think about it. All of the places that we said we would never go to, those are the freshest places we want to live. Nobody ever want to go to Wyoming. We ain't never thought about going to Iowa, never Montana, North, South Dakota, None of these places. We don't even want to deal with the pristine lands down south. We're in our own ancestral lands. Right?
Hey,
But I'm
Mama told
telling
super
y'all,
fun.
instead of sticking to these places, they supposed to have their refugee status too. Remember, they did it to them down in Louisiana after Katrina, and they were seeking refuge where? In Texas, right?
Right.
And they shitted on those people. They shitted on
Oh,
our people, man.
absolutely. And
They
then
shitted
not
on them,
only
yo.
did they get pooped on over in Texas, but they didn't know the law. Texas is its own republic. They have their own Congress. Completely different. Texas has their own thing going on, right? And not only that, the same laws that apply in Louisiana did not apply in Texas. And the same laws, certainly not the ones that they had in just the parish where New Orleans is, in any county in Texas, right? So now when they have those common laws or those little things where nobody says anything in 24 hours, a stone cold killer get to walk home from out the precinct. Right? But they try to do the same gangster shit they was doing in Louisiana when they got to Texas, and they got locked up. And that was just the end of that. So they didn't even get to indulge in any of the FEMA camps or any of those type of government subsidies. They didn't even get to enjoy any of those, or not enjoy. I don't want to say that, benefit off of that in any type of way. So they still disconnected them even in Texas. And then the other people, especially the ones that couldn't stop banging on each other, they put the opposing groups in the same neighborhood. And they got that one nightclub. And what do? Niggas like to party. What was happening? They kept having all these little gang wars right there that was spilling over all the way from New Orleans into this new place. So they never even got to settle in as a refugee status and get any of those benefits that are afforded to foreigners that come here.
Hey, yo, on that subject right there, I want to throw this in the air, man. Hey, yo, shouts to the people that don't know what's going on. They don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. It's called esoteric and exoteric, right? So all our people that's dealing with that exoteric shit, those that's riding the 5, those that's riding the 6, hey, 5-point star, 6-point star, right? Them Boule motherfuckers know what that shit mean more than you do. They said that you out there as agents of their corruption, their perversion. You know what I'm saying? That's what's really going on out here. Hey, truth be told, I done known a lot of dudes, man, as well as a lot of females, man, our American people, that they rode the 5, ride the 6, and this, that, and the other. I know what they used to say back in the day. I ain't gonna say that live right now, you know, because I ain't about all of that. What I'm about is the life of my people. All of them was my people that rode the 5 and rode the 6 and da-da-da-da-da and everything else, right? Let me tell you something. Like was said a moment ago, what would your grandmother say? We got to take the time to think about what would our grandmother say. Yo, keep in mind, our people was property owners, man. You got to get into the fact that your people's property owners. So therefore, if your people's property owners, what should you be riding for? Should we be riding for your property? Should we be riding for your people? Should we be riding for your nation, for your tribe, your clan, etc.? And the diplomacy between the clans, tribes, and nations of your people. Should you be riding for that? Or should you be riding for that Boule shit? Because them niggas ain't telling our people what we should know. They don't support your grandmother. They take from your grandmother, your grandfather. When they gonna collect that funeral money, right? But what else do they got for them? What they got for the offspring? You're your grandparents' posterity. That's what you are. Your grandparents put in that work. Yo, your elders, if you do your genealogy, you see what your elders was dealing with back in the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, etc., right? You get to see all of that, right? You see what they was dealing with and how they maintained, how they managed, how they kept procreating and all of that? You see what they was managing? They were securing the life of their people, themselves included, right? Then you look at yourself today, right? What the fuck does the Boule got to do with Cho peoples, man? When they have their own agenda, that's against your grandparents, your greats, your greats. You got greats in your lineage, and these motherfuckers ain't great for shit. They some ingrate motherfuckers. Let's deal with that truth and reality. We got a whole bunch of ingrates posing as leaders that want you, the posterity of the greats, to be followers. Yo, Cowboy season is over, man. Like I said, I ain't trying to take everybody's time, man, but I got a few more pages I gotta go through because I'm about to get into these Moors ass. Fuck them s'mores, man. I don't got no love for them sniggers, man. Them sniggers, they fucked up. Same 1828 definition of America, that same Webster's dictionary, you can look up a motherfucking Moor and see what a Moor is. So how the fuck is a motherfucker claiming to be a Moorish American? Huh? Shit sound real stupid, extra stupid. A Moorish American is equivalent to an African American. Stop playing with us. Hey, people, stop letting these people play with you. Does anybody want to say anything or add anything before? Because I'm about to continue reading this thing. Because, you know, we got to get through this. You know, I know everybody's celebrating, they doing their stocking stuff. As a matter of fact, they open up their stockings and, you know what I mean, still got gifts to unwrap and all that kind of good shit.
Hey, Tony, go ahead and do what you're going to do. I got a couple of things I can say, but I can wait till the end.
I bet. I'm going to go and get it in there. Let me go and pull it up. We'll pull these pages back up real quick, man. All right. Hey, yo, this is for those s'mores out there, right? So we're going back to the dictionary of secret societies and all of that, right? We're on page 36. Ooh, this is page 36. Y'all like those numbers, right? The ancient Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine. This order claims to have originated in Arabia. It is secret and closely affiliated with Freemasonry. Okay? So now, I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward real quick because this is a whole bunch of motherfucking crazy shit they be talking about in this. But I'm looking for one particular point in this text where it blatantly states how the Negroes, all these Boule motherfuckers, they be imitating the fucking Caucasian societies. The Caucasian societies, they don't like that shit. They don't like it. So hold on. Let me find that part real quick. But let me read this real quick. It says, conductor to candidate. This is the place where our brethren stop to sprinkle the devil's paths with urine. Did you hear what I said? I'm not going to repeat it because that shit is grimy. But that's on page 38. All right. I'm trying to breeze through this shit right quick. I'm going to do this shit extra thorough on another channel. All right. But now let's just go ahead and jump to this other shit real quick. These niggas. Ancient Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine of North and South America. Oh, doesn't that sound like what we just read? Let's run that back real quick. Ancient Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine. The original, that's Caucasian, European. That shit's foreign as fuck. Fast forward. Ancient Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine of North and South America. Now listen to this shit, y'all. A social and fraternal organization of Negroes. Negro secret societies. Which imitates the ancient and Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine. Woo! Hey, y'all. This is page 40. It receives only such candidates as have taken the higher degrees in Negro Masonic bodies. There is a female auxiliary called Daughters of the Pyramid. Oh, shit. Hey, some of y'all might want to talk to Sonetta about that shit, right? Maybe they'll give his show some fire, right? Next. Brother James. Bro. You see where bro comes from? Bro comes from brother. So shouts all them fucking weirdo sniggers that be talking on that bro shit. That shit is Masonic language. Know what you talking about, man. Know who you talking to, man. That shit sounds real crazy. But anyway, bro, James S. McCandless, Imperial Potentate, all right, of the ancient Arabic order of nobles of the Mystic Shrine, wrote in 1922 regarding this Negro imitation. Woo! Do you hear what's going on here? These Boule motherfuckers, they are imitators. They're imitating Caucasians, Europeans, and all other breeds of foreigners. They're imitating. Damn, not only do you engage in treason and plagiarism and corruption and all sorts of fucking vile perversions, but you also imitate Snigger? Snigger, Snigger, get the fuck out of here, man. All right, whatever. Yo, quote, I have been asked many times what we are doing about the so-called Negro Shrine. We are working on that problem. But I do not believe it is now possible to say anything very definite about it. Interesting statement, huh? The main point is that we are jealous of our name, Mystic Shrine. Uh-oh. We have no quarrel with any other organization at all, but we want to make sure that in North America, nobody can make use of our name, Ancient Arabic Order, Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, except ourselves. We also are trying to protect our emblems and insignia, and these we have had copyrighted in almost all the states. I am sorry to say that we cannot copyright the fez. We cannot copyright the fez. Did you hear that? They cannot copyright the fez. Because that is a headdress which any man may wear if he wishes. What? Hey, yo. I ain't gonna do it right now. I ain't gonna do it right. I ain't gonna do it right. Not right now. Oh, God. Hold on. Let's continue. Oh, man. However, we carry a design on the fez. Listen to the design. The famous crescent. The crescent is theirs. Okay? As our own emblem. And we are getting that copyrighted in every state. Okay? Also, we are trying to get dealers not to sell fezzes to anyone but Shriners who have their cards. Uh-oh. What about those cards again, you s'mores? Tell us about those cards, s'mores. Hey, shouts to the people that don't fuck with s'mores. You understand? Let's continue. In fact, we are going still further than that. There's a long dash right there. It says we are trying to get dealers to sell these shrine fezzes to temples only. Woo! Hey, y'all. Boule Bleachout. Hey, who y'all see that be running around with those fezzes? I want to see. Hey, Buck, you still here? Can you show that picture? That's a dope picture, man. I want to see that picture. The people need to see that picture. Can you show that picture, Buck?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Coward season is over. African Amazing Africans, A4 Truth. Scalp season is on. Kill your TV. Kill propaganda. Kill foreign media. Kill foreign influence. A4, get them. Hey, y'all. It's not a game over here. What this chat looking like? What the chat looking like? Because I haven't even pulled up the chat yet. I ain't been on the chat in a minute. How the people doing?
See if anybody got any questions they want to ask or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good. How the chat doing? Cow season is over, y'all. Scalp season is on. What's good? Oh, hey, did somebody have a story about what was that church that got burned down in the South and they blamed it on the KKK? Did somebody have a story about that? It wasn't even, it's not a story, but it's the truth of the matter. Hey, Buck, was that you? When you talk to somebody about what happened for real, for real? Because, hey, shout out to the people that can remember back in the day when foreigners could not come into our neighborhoods. They just was not welcome.
Absolutely not.
That kind of shit. That kind of shit was good.
Oh, he talking about when them 4 girls got burnt in that fire down in Alabama at that church.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick because now we about to get into some shit. I got another page I'm about to read for y'all. But hey, can y'all tell us? Can because I wasn't there. I didn't talk to the people. Can you talk to the people about what happened for real? For real?
Hold up. Let me get back on. Let me get back in.
All right.
Okay, so like I'm saying, a lot of the stories we hear them from third and fourth hand knowledge. But what I like to do when I go to places, I like to speak to the people there. Now, a lot of the people left the South. So if you go to California and speak to somebody about Mississippi, they won't know shit about what's going on in Mississippi. That's part of our problem. They're into all these foreign groups that we've been talking about tonight. So when I came to Birmingham, I went to if you're ever in Birmingham, the place where the 4 little girls got blown up, go check it out because them sisters, I don't know how y'all don't hear them calling our names. Every time one of us get killed, them sisters are talking to us. But we want to listen to this bullshit music we listen to, and it drowns out what they're saying. This is why it's important for you to follow your spiritual ideologies. Your people say you come from the earth, but you believe people who say you come a man, 2 men create a woman. That's what we believe. That's what the majority of us believe. You won't even listen to your own stories. And you constantly running your mouth. Because I see you brothers in the chat, you Moorish brothers, coming up with that shit. We ignore you because you bring nothing to the table. Anyway, so I go down to the church where the girls got blown up at. And, so I walk out the church and this brother's around the church begging for change, right? So I asked them. He said, dude, don't believe that story in there. He said, during that time when them sisters got blown up in that church, he said, crackers couldn't come over here. They weren't allowed in our neighborhood. Fuck what you heard about Birmingham. Brothers here wasn't playing because they was treating the people so bad. Brothers had to man up and take care of their people. He said there wasn't no brothers. It wasn't no white boys killing that blew up that church. It was some brothers who blew the church up. Now, at the time, I was like, what? You bullshit. You lying. And they was like, no, seriously. He say, we got those type niggas everywhere. And this was just a homeless cat who just, probably if I go back over there now, he's still over there. And if you look, it's a park right across the street from where the girls got blown up at. That's the shittiest park you will ever see. So when you think of a park, you think of taking some food, a bottle of wine, hanging out with your girl, just paying attention to all the, the nature. You go check that park out across the street from 16th Street Baptist Church. It's a monument of horror. It's the worst park I ever seen. But they bring people in. As a matter of fact, you can go online and pull up pictures of it. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So this is the kind of stuff that we're into. These museums and stuff implement these pictures and these ideologies of us in the mind. And we keep calling ourselves black. You have never seen nobody the color of your cell phone. Yet we keep calling ourselves that. Grown men, I know people 70, 80 years old use that term. And this is what we do. So what we do, and this is what happens. Remember, World War I, World War II, there was a lot of Europeans killed. That's called karma. You have to pay for what you've done. You have to pay for what that goes for. And nobody misses that. So what they found out during World War I and World War II, hey, let's not kill everybody. Let's just make them kill themselves. And that's what we're doing here. So like I say, when if you really go study these groups, if you really go study the Nation of Islam, those brothers have killed so many of our people, but they're doing it like Tomahawk was saying. They were mimicking those foreigners. This is what they see. We're on this, so we have to pay for that. Here's another example. This is very important because I was talking to a sister about this. This is very important. So when we say we kill ourselves, those abortions count too. But see what we don't forget. So the sister said, well, how many of us have died since, how many? I said, maybe since 1970, about 300 million of us has been wiped out. She said 300 millions. No, that can't be. I'm like, you're looking at it wrong, because we never think. The people who call themselves African American thinking, they really not into that. So you have to remember that the people that were aborted in 1970, they would have had children. Those children are also gone too, right? So the 1970 is 50 years. What's that? Damn near 3 generations. Just imagine if we had 3 million people on our side right now. See, you don't hear Moors talking about this, how important that is. You don't hear all these monkeys talking about how important that is. Our numbers just keep dwindling. We're not the minority here. We're the majority, because nowhere you go on the planet are the indigenous people the minority. I mean, this is simple shit that it keeps going over our head. And this is what I'm saying, y'all. We better stop fucking around with this, because you're at a point now where they're pushing this homosexual shit on you. And one thing that homosexuals don't do is have children. Now, you can play with it and all you want to, but they don't have kids. What does that mean for us? That means our numbers go down. They also are pushing this black man, black woman hatred each other. African American men and women, they can't stand each other. Black men and black women are swirling. They're trying to rid your ass of the planet.
Hey, bro,
I know you like to play and
tell them why. Tell them why. Tell them why they want to get rid of us. Tell them why they want to get rid of us.
I didn't hear you.
I was saying, tell them why they want to get rid of us.
I'm sorry.
Tell them why they want to get rid of us.
No. Why to get rid of you?
Yes. Tell the people why.
So I mean, we can just look through history. Why did they get rid of the Egyptians? To take over their land and resources. You're in the way. You always marching up and down, marching, begging, crying, being stupid. And everybody who's listening to my voice now knows every time they show you, you're doing some dumb shit. But when they beat your ass and kill you out, you just as quiet as a mouse. You don't say nothing. See, when that brother went down there and got killed in Alabama at that mall a few weeks ago on Thanksgiving, you didn't hear all the gangs. Where was the gangs and stuff then? Where was the Moors? Where was the Nation of Islam? Where was all those people who would kick your ass but won't do nothing to the people who harm you? The whole thing of this is to get rid of you. I don't care what you think, what you believe. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do now. And it all ties go. That Henrietta Lacks, study that sister, because some of you got the same thing as she got.
Well,
Tony, what was
got that?
Tony, what was I was screen sharing, right?
Yeah. Oh man, hold up. What was you? Oh yeah, the monkey more. The picture
Is that up?
Nathaniel. Nah, I don't see it. The monkey more with Donald Trump It was a
Oh,
caricature.
I'm trying to, man. I'm horrible on working this thing, man.
All right, but hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm about to send it to you right now. Give me one. Yo, I just need a couple moments. I'm gonna send it to you. Yo, this is dope, y'all. Let's have this image up because this is perfect timing for 2020. 2020 vision. You feel me? Hold on, y'all. Hey, Phoenix. Hey, can you add to what Buck was just saying right now? Much appreciation. You feel me?
You don't see this Morris picture I have up now. That's not coming through. It's a cold pitch. They got these cats in chains. You got this Morris dude with a fez on standing off to the left, guarding over them. So these are the images. Hey, and if you guys go ahead and email me, I'll send you these images. And when you call and when you get on all these groups, you ask them to explain this. See, you don't have to call these cats out. You don't have to call these dudes names. You just have to go through what they've done in history and you ask them to expound on what they've done. That's all you got to do. And remember this, you ask somebody a question, don't listen for their answer. Look at their faces when you ask them the question. Watch that dumb look come on their faces when you ask them the question. So, you guys see, how do I get the people to see this? Because this is a cold pitch, right? This is a cold.
In the upper left-hand corner, there's going to be a green
Okay, in the
arrow.
left-hand corner.
Yeah, there's going to be a green arrow that says screen share.
Okay, got it.
Okay, now once you click that, you present it to everyone, right? And then you pick which window you want to show.
So do I do application window? Okay, here we go. Okay, check this out. Do you see that now? Give it a minute to come up, but check that out. See it? It's going to be coming. It got to come up in a minute. I see the screen changing on the. It's going to come up in a minute. It's coming up. At least I think it's coming up. In a minute. Oh, okay. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. There it go right there. Can you see that?
No, not yet. I can't. Not yet.
Can you see that? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see that?
No, not yet.
Hey. So that's it. I mean, it's up on the screen, and I did what was needed to be done
There's a
to
button
share
that says is one that says share with everyone.
Okay, I hit that.
Oh yeah,
I hit that.
still don't see it.
You see it?
No, if you drop it in the chat, I could try and share it in the back chat.
Okay, wait a minute. I'll tell you what. Let me forward it. Let me just forward the email to you. How was that?
Okay.
Because I'm sorry, guys. I can't. I'm trying this stuff. Uh, this is a cold piece right here. Okay, I'm forwarding it to you right now. At Gmail, right? Okay, I'm sending it over to you right now. Sent. Check this out, guys, when you see it. I think I'm going to have a tutorial on how to share. You get it?
I have the email. Which one did you want me to share first?
The one with the guys who got the chains around them and the Moors standing off to the left guarding them.
Oh yeah.
Is that a cold piece or what?
Yes, it is. Okay, guys, give me 1 second.
And you can just go down the whole list and share them all, you know. But if you guys send me an email at indigenous64@gmail, I will send you the images. And these are the images. What are these people doing? And what this image she's about to show you, this is the question you ask yourself. What is these people over here doing imitating those guys over there? See, you get a whole lot of brothers who like to argue and try to, you know, shout you down and stuff. But these are the image I show you. Why are you imitating these? Why are you imitating these clowns? Why do we imitate people who wish us to be dead? I mean, you have pictures of people who throw up the Hitler sign. What happened to those people who was on Donald Trump's side? What happened to them two sisters who was on Donald Trump, pumping up Donald Trump? He's making this, you know, this is the stuff we've been saying in 20 years ago. He's an ass. But you get Negroes, oh, he's my daddy. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? And then we wonder why all kind of bad stuff befell us. So when you see the little brother get his locks cut off, that's not their fault, that's our fault. Because we always confused. We always don't know what happened. Huh? So once you see stuff happening to us, I don't care where it is, it's on us. Because we're broken down into so many different groups. I mean, just the group we're going on with tonight.
You know, and to add another thing to that, all this stuff that we talk about, that people doing to us, we the one that keep that stuff alive. You know, example, all these people that want to talk about this white supremacy stuff, hey, we the one that keep it alive because we the only ones talking about it. You know, if you want to get rid of stuff, you got to clear that stuff out of your mind. You can't just you can't talk about it and then think it's gonna go away, because the more you talk about it, the more it's got control over you. In this case,
Yo, you know, I've been saying that shit for a minute now, man. Ain't that shit crazy? Yo, you got these black motherfuckers, these colorblind motherfuckers, right? They promote white supremacy more than white supremacists.
yeah.
Yep.
Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
You're not
Yo.
lying.
All right, so hold on. Oh, so you know how motherfuckers be promoting rappers and singers and all the clubs, you know, how they be printing flyers and all of that. But yo, 24/7, we got all these people talking about white supremacy. They call themselves black while they're promoting white supremacy. They're talking about white supremacy, say how white supremacy this and white supremacy that. But meanwhile, hey yo, your skin color, like you're brown. Okay, when you look in the mirror in the morning, when you're brushing your teeth, you're combing your hair, brushing your hair, you're brown, right? And then all of a sudden, all right, you got to complain about something. And yo, you just got robbed. You just got robbed, and that's white supremacy fault, right? And it was a brown skinned motherfucker that robbed you, right? I mean, come on, people. Cowboy season is over in so many ways. Scalp season is on. Yo, stop robbing each other. Stop taking from each other. Support each other. Figure out ways. Yo, you know your people better than I know your people. Like, seriously. This is what we encourage in 8-4. We encourage genealogy. Knowing your people. Getting to know your people, right? In addition to getting to know your people, hey, yo, did you know your grandmother, right, was friends with your neighbor like 3 generations ago, right? And now, why are you plotting on your neighbor's grandchildren when you're a grandson or a granddaughter? Why are you trying to take from your own people? I mean, come on, man. Yo, and then you go, and after you do some shit to each other, you plotting and scheming on each other, then you go and turn around and blame it on white supremacy. Come on, man. Yo, that shit is dumb stupid. Yo, I was locked up with a dude mad years ago, right? Yo, I was in a Supermax, right? And the dude was like, yo, he said super stupid. That's what he said in regards to anything that was dumb and retarded. He was like, yo, that shit's super stupid. And like, yo, fast forward to right now, yo, how the fuck is our daughters and sons listening to motherfuckers like, what's his name? Tekashi 6ix9ine and Cardi B? That shit's super stupid. All of that's super stupid. The Nicki Minaj, super stupid. Anything that's on the radio is super stupid. Anything on TV is super stupid. You know what's not super stupid? Is you dealing with the truth and reality of you dealing with you and yours. You and your people. That's what's not super stupid. I'm going to tell you that truth right there. You understand? Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm going to fall back till it's time for me to read again. You feel me?
Go ahead. Since we waiting, you might as well go ahead and knock them dead some more.
Oh man, hey, yo, hey! I just want to make sure everybody, yo, Phoenix was about to say something, right? Hey, Phoenix. Oh no, my bad. No. Hey, Buck, yo, can you continue for a hot minute? Tag me.
Yo, she's trying to share. She's trying to.
I bet. So, yo, somebody hold it down for a hot minute, man. I'm gonna keep it rocking in a minute. I'm gonna get back to this reading. Yo, all I need is like 45 to 60 seconds.
She's sharing the pictures of the Moors.
No doubt. I just need 45 to 60 seconds, and I'll be ready to rock. All right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know,
there's the picture of the Moors.
Everybody see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, okay. Hey, well, while we waiting on Tony to get back, few people we have, just because we haven't mentioned your name yet or mentioned your group yet, don't mean that we ain't talking about you too. Because there's so many there's so many of these people around, and they take on so many different characters or whatever that we might not get all of you in one night. But believe me, we know who's out there. We know who you are, and believe
That's
me,
right.
you know who you are. So don't think that you just getting away, because this is just the start here. We coming out and we putting people on blast.
That's right.
More fire, more fire. Hey, all right, I'm back, y'all. All right, yo, what was that? Was that 60 seconds? I'm back, y'all. I'm not a magician. Repeat game, y'all. All right.
Welcome back.
Oh shit. Hey, how's everybody doing before I get into this shit? You gotta get into this shit, y'all. Hey, y'all ready for the new year? Hey, yo, so I just sent some pictures and shit, right? I hope Phoenix went through those pictures. Hey, yo, shout out to that nigga Shimmock. Hey, yo, Hemmock, C-Lop. Hey, yo, that nigga caught my radar. I don't like that snigger. I never gave him any money. He never got no FRNs from me. But you know what he did? He fucked with my people. All right? He fucked with my people.
Sure did.
That's what he did. You understand? So I don't fuck with that snigger. Hey, yo, that snigger talk about, hey, yo, we're trying to, this is like 2 years later after he done scamped like 1,000+ people that know that they're American, right? Our people gave that snigger, they got their genealogy records, man. Come on. Hey, yo, nobody got a problem with that snigger?
Yep. Yeah, they're trying to act like it didn't happen, like it's just a rumor. Niggas want proof. Yeah.
Oh, you want proof?
Yeah.
You want proof? Yo, hey, we got proof, motherfucker. We got proof. Hey, email me. tomahawktony.csio@gmail.com, and I got proof. You understand?
All right. That should be the least of their problems. Worried about what proof the victims got, just to make it easier to run with the big bad wolf. They're gonna keep making excuses till they get eaten alive they damn self.
Yo, next is this. Okay, so who did Hemmock have in his NAAIP camp? Now, we just read something briefly about the NAACP, but if anyone took the initiative and did a little bit of due diligence based on what I said, you could have looked at that book, A Dictionary of Secret Societies, right? Look that book up, and you will see the NAACP listed there. Now we know what happened with the NAACP. There was a Rachel Dezolazo who looked like Hemmock Z-Lop's fucking wife. True or false? True, right? If I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm just standing here telling y'all the truth, right? All right, anyway, let's keep it rocking. All right, now. So, anyway, Hemmock C-Lop, a.k.a. Hemmock Tusker, I forgot what the fuck. He came up with some wild ass, man, this nigga, this ex-bishop, Christian ass nigga, fucking, he went from being a Christian to a Moor to being indigenous, a general of whatever, in conversations with the Homeland Security, supposedly, allegedly. Like, he said that he was in contact with Homeland Security about the members' ID cards. Are you fucking kidding me? Hey, anybody that's been scammed by Hemmock, have you contacted Homeland Security? Because that shit was encouraged over 2 years ago, if I recall. Y'all was encouraged over 2 years ago to contact Homeland Security about Hemmock C-Lop. Oh, what? I did that?
Exactly.
All right, good money. Okay. So if y'all did that, well, what did Homeland Security tell y'all? Did they say some shit like, a Hemmock C-Lop? What the fuck is that? Like,
never heard of him.
That's not professional. Never heard it. Okay, that's not professional, right? Okay, professionally from a federal government, from United States federal government agency, it would be something along the lines of, we have no record of such a name in our files.
Exactly. That's just sound like a skin condition.
Yeah, he's like, hey, him out Sheila, what the fuck is like, ooh, like the employee answering that call, and like thousands of calls of people that's been scammed, right? Motherfuckers be like, hey, hey, boss, we got a lot of calls today about a Hemok CLOP. I know we're Homeland Security, but like, it sounds like something we need to secure because and within our homeland, there's a Hemok CLOP that is supposedly in contact with us, and he's fucking slandering our reputation. And both would be like, this is some Indian shit, right? Like, when Indians get to enforce the law, Indians would be like, hey man, Homeland Security is very important. You know, we cannot allow anybody to fuck with our homeland, nor the security of our homeland. And then Homeland Security, federal agency would be like, hey, yo, who the fuck is all Hemok Zilop? Let's get him. And they're saying that behind the scenes. And then fast forward, hey, Hemok Zilop, hey, man, you got some work coming. And you said in that recent video via Facebook, nigga, what he say in that recent Facebook video? You better look that shit. Hey, anybody in the chat, anybody that's live right now watching this video, hey, look up Hemok Zilop. Yo, Zilop, Hemok is spelled Hemoc. That shit sounds stupid, right? But it is what it is. He named himself, right? Just like Chief Holiday named himself, right? Chief Holiday worked with who? Dane fucking Calloway, who worked with Hemok Zilop. I got that evidence. More fire. Here we go. All right, on talk to this one. Who the fuck is he? Uh-oh. That nigga is a wannabe motherfucking small. Hey, man, I swear, go to Rise of the Moors channel, and I got work on him, too. Shout out to the Chiefs. Shout out to the Chiefs, because we got that work. Yo, Boule Bleachout 2020, I want you got clear vision of these motherfucking, quote-unquote, who the fuck is these niggas again? Indigenous movement motherfuckers? Well, we about to treat them niggas like a bowel movement right now. This is about to be an all-American bowel movement. Uh-oh. This shit about to get real funky. All right, so hold on.
Rise of the Moors, though.
Rise of the Moors. On Talk to This One, be going to, it's right there on YouTube. It's right there. Like how we're on YouTube.
Up right now.
Look up Rise of the Moors. Rise of the Moors. On Talk to This One, be on that channel asking for goddamn advice. He wants to talk to Rise of the Moors. This nigga by the name of Jamal something. Okay, now what's good with Jamal something? The head nigga in charge. The head nigga in charge. Uh-oh, here we go. More fire. Hey, don't fuck with me, man. Leave me the fuck alone, man. Stay in your fucking. Hey, man, you a fucking Moor? Be a fucking Moor. Don't get in the Indian business and affairs, nigga. Don't do that. You gonna fuck yourself. That's simple. That's just a disclaimer right there. Let's keep it rocking. All right. So this just Jamal's nigga, right? So all right, this nigga Rise of the Smalls on Instagram and also on YouTube. This motherfucker, this small smucker. All right. Shouts to the mothers. No disrespect to the mothers out there. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Your son fucked up, shorty. This nigga did some shit like this. He got at one of the fauna chiefs. He got at one of the fauna chiefs. And the fauna chief was like, hey, nigga, this what it is. My peoples went to school with your peoples. And my peoples know your people to be Indians. We know you to be American Indians, nigga. So why the fuck is you promoting all this Moorish bullshit, nigga? Fast forward. This nigga went into the United States Marines as a s'more. Uh-oh. Do I need to send that goddamn Facebook file? Because there's a file in which s'mores themselves Yeah, pardon me. I disrespect all s'mores because y'all niggas is foreign. But I appreciate y'all service though, right? Hey, who want to present that motherfucking file? Where right there on Facebook, this just small snigger, right? This nigga, well, S'mores put that nigga out there saying that he's a goddamn federal agent. So rise of the Moors, rise of the S'mores, that kind of shit. Well, guess what? He's a motherfucking federal agent. And he fucking all of y'all want to be S'mores. Why? Because what do we know from back in the 1800s, going into the early 1900s? Motherfuckers is imitating the foreigners with y'all fezzes and all that bullshit. The fuck out of here, man. Next. Who's next on the motherfucking list? Who's next? I've been through Hemlock right now. Oh, Dane Calloway. Well, all right, Dane Calloway looked like Hemlock. Is that Hemlock's son? All right. True or false? How many people did Dane Calloway scam? I did a presentation early this year about that bullshit, right? Dane Calloway did some motherfucking establish a nationality. I done breezed through that shit. One of my peoples. Shit. I'm not even really cool with the dude. Shit. Me and this dude, like, we don't even like talking to each other. I don't like talking to him. Because that nigga, he wanted to be a follower. I don't fuck with followers, man. I don't fuck with followers. All right, anyway. Hey, yo. My peoples call me up. You know what I mean? I treat my peoples as peoples. Yo, he chicken saw, cha-cha, no, whatever. But yo, this nigga confused. Nigga be talking a whole bunch of other shit. And I be like, yo, and I be leaning on him, man. We talk, I lean on him. I'm like, hey, man, I ain't with that shit, my nigga. It's that simple. Yo, it is what it is. Let's go. Anyway, he called me up random as fuck talking about Dane Calloway package. I'm like, hey, yo, the fuck? You support them? Fuck out of here. I'm like, yo, send me that fucking package you just bought, nigga. He sent me that shit. Then I have him fucking come on my live. Yeah, he came on my live, right? Yeah, that kind of shit. That's what I do. I deal with real people in real places doing real things, dealing with real shit. Stop fucking playing with me, man. Next. Hey, yo, Dane Calloway sold some fucked up ass packages. And Dane Calloway looked like the nigga Hemlock's son. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't it a bitch? Is it not? How many people did Dane Calloway scam, huh? And then in addition to that shit, right? Fast forward, I find out, and some of y'all may know about it, Dane Calloway threatened a woman that he scammed, one of our American women who's putting in work. She putting in work for herself, for her well-being, for the integrity of her people, for the dignity, the honor of her people. He threatened the life of her? Yeah. And what? 100,000 motherfuckers of our quote-unquote indigenous movement people? Are you fucking kidding me with indigenous movement motherfuckers? Hey, man, you better be moving for your family, man. Stop playing out here. Stop following motherfuckers. Seriously, stop following, man. Stop following. Yo, get into your genealogy. Follow your genealogy. How about that shit? You want to follow something? Follow your genealogy. It's not that hard, for real.
All Dane Calloway is a glorified history teacher anyway.
Man, that nigga's a Toastmaster. That nigga took a couple of Toastmaster classes. And hey, do y'all know what Toastmaster classes is, man? Run a Google search on Toastmasters. Toastmasters. Let me tell you something. Motherfuckers take classes so they can learn public speaking. He's not a history teacher. He don't even know his own fucking history. Hey, guess what? Okay. All right. I'm going to give y'all an example real quick. Is Phoenix still on the line? Is Phoenix still on the line? I haven't checked yet.
I'm here. I'm still here.
All right. So, Phoenix, peep game, right? Before you went on Sarnetta channel, right? Sarnetta had, or talk to this one. And Sarnetta was going against Autochthonous One alongside of Jabari and Garfield, his Garfield cartoon cat ass nigga, right? Anyway, well, you went on there, you embarrassed the shit out of all of them. Them niggas was like, God damn, she's stronger than a fucking Autochthonous One. And Autochthonous One fucks with Dane Scalloways. I call him Stain. He's a stain on the name of our American, our indigenous. He's a fucking stain. But anyway, let me get back to my point. My point is this. These niggas, they work together. They're part of different Masonic houses under the Boule. I'm telling you the truth. Observe their communications. My point is this. Pay attention to this point right here. Pay attention to this part right here. So now, if A4 blocked a Dane Calloway back in 2017 after he tried to slander and assassinate the character A4 and it didn't work, a young Pharaoh was in A4 under the name of, what was her name? Sandra Bland? Somebody released that shit via YouTube and social media. I blocked him too. That didn't work. And so many other covert operatives of the Boule and the Black Masonic imitation groups, because the Europeans call them motherfuckers, call them sniggers imitations. They're imitators. They're imitations and imitators. Let's deal with the truth and reality of the motherfucking subject matter. These black, colorblind bastards are trying to bastardize our American people. Let's deal with that truth and reality. A1, as the people in the chat like to call that snigger, he's all up and down those s'morish Rise of the Moors. Look at that snigger on Rise of the S'mores. In Rise of the S'mores, I just told you that snigger, his peoples is really Indian, and a chief from Fauna told that snigger, hey, dude, I don't know what the fuck you on, but you need to fall back because you telling lies, like you deceiving the people. Stop it. That snigger choked for a minute. Then he came right back. And then here's proof on top of the pudding. Okay, check this shit out. So a couple weeks ago on Indigenous One channel that you listen to right now, we had a guest by the name of Amani Bey. Okay, the guest was questioned. How did you get this name Bey? He said it was given to him like 12 years ago. Okie dokie. It is what it is. This nigga, he did not claim to be a s'more, did he? Nope. But he confirmed what I have been saying about torts. Tort law is actionable. Defamation of character. Emotional distress. And then next thing you know, within the past 2 weeks, following that presentation by the guest Amani Bey, we got this Rise of the S'mores snigger. Yeah, we going, yo, man, that snigger finished too. The Moors, do you know the S'mores put him on blast? I said that a minute ago. It is what it is. The damage is done. That snigger finished. But how many more sniggers is running around undercover like that amongst the S'mores?
And in the words of Smith and Wesson, me say many, many. Me say many, many, many.
Me say many, many. Hey, yo, much appreciation to our American people throughout the Americas. Hey, Phoenix, say that again, pretty please. Smith and Wesson, shouts to them. Hey, oh man, I missed that, man. You gotta have me listen to music tonight, man.
I'm just checking out this Rise of the Moors channel. I'm not too familiar with
me say many, many. Me say
with
many.
these people.
What?
But yeah, he's got a lot of Moorish flag thing going on up here, and nothing. I don't see anything representing America or his tribe, his nation, or anything like that. Any of the people. I just see more stuff on this channel. So
I want to add some fire to this situation here. You know what's very interesting? How these people, they denounce our American people, right? But they do not denounce the corruption amongst their own self-determined, self-chosen, self-proclaimed groups. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch?
Yep.
this is some interesting shit, boy.
Yeah. I think Tomahawk left there for a second. I don't know if he coming back or not, but it looked like he just went. But I just want to say, you know, these old Afrocentrics out here, we gonna get y'all too, because y'all spreading a whole bunch of garbage too. You know, and I kind of like messing with y'all because that's kind of how I came. That's where I came from. I came from the Afrocentric community before I am who I am now. So, you know,
Hey, what the fuck is up?
we're gonna Tomahawk, get back. Well, I was just mentioning a few things about these Afrocentrics because we hadn't mentioned them too much either. Because we're gonna put them on blast too. As a matter of fact, I was looking up what's this fella's name? Old dude, older guy. Smalls, James Smalls. Looking up information on him today. And is anybody on the panel aware that this dude wrote a book called Homosexuality in Art?
What is funny, yo? Wait, fuck, yo, like doing too much right now. You came to me, man. The fuck you mean?
Hello?
I gave you full disclosure.
Hey, is anybody there? Y'all there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
no, I was asking, did anybody know this dude wrote this book, Homosexuality in Art?
Who wrote that?
James Smalls, the historian dude.
Oh well, you know
Yeah,
he's become quite the master Egyptologist over the last couple of Boule years and all of that.
right.
And I actually think that he's actually has a you know what they may call official degrees. Like he doesn't have the honorary. I think he actually went to their institutions. You know, especially never wanting to return to the plantation from which he was born, and this is in the 1940s. He was born on a plantation that his family had lived on for quite some time. So you know, it's a lot of them that come from our industries, and they were totally embarrassed, and they wanted to get away and go to the city and assimilate. So James Smalls probably, you know, being one of the biggest one, and he was a lot younger than like John Henry Clark and you know
Yeah,
Arturo Schomburg and stuff like that. But he still definitely played his role. But that man knows that he an Indian. He knows that we are Indians as well.
oh,
Why have you know, again, why he chose to be a part of that, you know, those Boule organizations that have promoted the Egyptology, and you know, a lot of their alleged artwork definitely has so many homosexual visuals and stuff like that. So that would probably be right up his alley. And
yeah,
may have also been part of his writer that he had to fulfill.
yeah. As a matter of fact, he wrote another book called where is it at? I got it here. Oh, the homoerotic photography of Carl von Bachten. I mean, I get
Hey,
Oh
yo.
my God.
Hey, yo, Tomahawk Tony out, man. Like, I supposed to been out a minute ago. I think I caught some exclusives behind the scenes, but I'm listening, but I'm out, though. Hey, much appreciation to everybody, our American people. I'm out. I'm listening. Yep. Cowboy season
Peace
is
and
over.
love. Peace and love.
All right. Well, you know what? We've been going over this for a long time anyway. Tomahawk, before you go, then you got anything you want to say?
Yo, Cowboy season is over. Scalp season is on. African Americans need Africans. 8-4, 8-4 truth. Kill foreign media. Kill your TV. Kill propaganda. Kill foreign influence, etc., etc., etc. Much appreciation to our American mothers and daughters, our American mothers and fathers. Pardon me. Our American fathers and sons. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's get to this fucking work, yo. 2020. That's what it's about, man. Cowboy season is over. Tomahawk Tony, I'm out, man. Let's go.
That's what's up. That's
All
what's
right.
up. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for inviting me to be on this platform this evening. Some interesting stuff. I can't wait to read the rest of the material. And definitely for the next episode. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, when you got anything you want to say to the folks before we sign out here?
Yeah, I like to say this. It's imperative that our people here in America start to band together. First, by respecting the spiritual principles and standing on those, and then we could talk about unity afterwards. Because you're not going to talk about unity and you don't hold to certain principles that we were known for. So, but see, give you a good example. They want to Africanize every dark race that they see around the globe. And I like to touch on those people, what's known as North Sentinel Island. You heard what happened over there?
Yeah, that's them the ones that killed that mercenary.
Yeah. And he knew very well what those people's position was on visitors. And they have a very good reason for doing that, because they've had in the past had some of their own abducted by some of these intruders coming onto the island, from their children to elderly. So their hostility stems from that. I guess they really know what's going on. I have every reason to believe that those people are aware of what's been going on in the outside world, and they want nothing to do with it. They don't need anything from us. They don't want anything. They're in connection with their surroundings and their environment. Matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say that island is in its pristine state. So what more could they actually want from us when they have everything they need? And that's the thing, that's what happened to us here. And that's what's going on around the globe. But I noticed when you read the article, they drove that African narrative there. Now they're trying to say that those people have been there for at least 40,000 years. But there's that assumption, that presumption that they throw in there that they're from Africa. And I just read to you, the dark races of the planet. 1794 was written by these explorers. When the explorers came here, they described our people accurately. So these Pan-Africans, they're not good. They're getting in the way. They're standing in the way, because everybody should be holding in their positions where they are. There's no reason to claim to come here for reasons that you left your homeland because you had problems there. You take care of your problems there. We take care of our problems over here.
Right.
That's all I have to say.
Right. All right. Hey, Buck, did you want to say anything before we close out?
Yeah, just want to let the people know, look, study your families, study your history, just like they have people over in Europe and in Africa that are great people. The same thing that was over here. Your people were great people. Your people weren't no dummy. The rest of the world aren't leaving their homes to come over here for nothing. You had something they want. And one of the things that they want is you. So stop giving your blood up. Stop giving your DNA up, trying to be smart because you don't know what they're doing with it. I mean, damn, y'all, can we think a little bit? So that's all I got to say. Support African Americans ain't Africans because African Americans show enough support you. Everybody have a good night and we'll see you next time.
Yo. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Well, I was going to say something before we went out.
You were closing it out anyway. You were just going around the tape. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I didn't say anything. But don't worry about it. That's okay.
Hey, yo,
Go
Calvin
ahead.
season is over. African American
Still
Africans,
live.
A4 Truth.
Wait,
Hey,
go
hey,
ahead.
people.
We're still live.
Oh,
Yeah, African American
well,
Africans.
okay. Well, since we still live, then I just wanted to say before we close out that we got to start looking to nature a whole lot more than we do, because that is the only absolute truth. That is absolute truth. And I found out that by thinking that way, that it's become very easy for me to figure out, things around me. And we're gonna have to return anyway, because that's the only way we're gonna survive this planet. Because you see and you see most of the forest, which what this land was at once upon a time, all forests is just about deteriorating. So we're gonna have to do this at some time. We're gonna have to return to where we were before all these refineries, factories, and all this other GMO stuff and all this stuff came out. So I just want to say, everybody, try to look to nature and try to think like nature, because you can never go wrong thinking that way. And with that, I just wanted to go ahead and say thanks for everyone who listened tonight. Thanks, Buck, for letting me be on the show. And I thank all the guests that were on the show. You guys were great. And look forward to getting with you again. And with that, good night, everybody.